Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said they said we said.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another local gaming log. This week's going to be different because I'm on the road, so I forgot my camera. I forgot my webcam in Maputo, so it's probably going to arrive by Wednesday or Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So tomorrow as well, I'll also be with no camera when we're doing the lowdown with Ham Solo. But there was no way to skip this week's show because Jesus. For anyone that was not enjoying Friday's show, or whatever, Vince, whatever. For anyone that was not enjoying Friday's show because we were going like too deep into the whole Sweet Baby thing, I'm sorry. This is going to be Sweet Baby the episode. All right, it's going to be not just Sweet Baby the episode. We're going to go into almost everything, and then I haven't even gotten the video from Mental. I haven't seen that video that you sent me. If you don't mind, could you please send it to my Twitter DMs? I'd like to see how long it is. If possible, maybe we can even do a watch along with everyone here, and we can be stopping and pausing as we see fit. But yeah, Here we go. Vincent Vega, thank you so much for coming through. Always on time. Blind Giant, mahalo. Good morning, man. Have a good one. Richie says he's late. I was watching Destin. Oh, okay. Did Destin say anything? Did Destin say anything interesting? I'm curious. No? What did Destin say?
Don't forget, Loke. Everyone hit the like button.
Oh yeah, everyone smash the like button. Everyone. Also, because we're doing it with no camera, if anyone would like to hop in real quick in the pod and say something, DM me. My DMs are open today. DM me and then I'll shoot you a link. Just make sure to behave, all right? Because I will boot your ass. I'm being honest. I don't care if you're a subscriber, if you're a member. If you don't behave, I will boot you. But if you're interested, shoot me a DM real quick, and then I'll send you the link. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. No slander to Loke. Okay. I know I give him shit, but no slander to Loke.
You're only saying that because you live and you don't want me to kick you out. That's the only reason you're saying that. This guy, man. This guy. Wow, Richie says.
But you know I'm joking.
Yeah, always. Richie says Destin started his show, but here's the superior product. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Just even being as good as Destin would be good enough, but superior? Wow.
Nah, you're better than Destin. At least you don't cave into the chaos. So.
But I do.
Hey, sorry, I'm looking for that video. If you're asking me stuff on him, yeah, I'm a little distracted here at the moment.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Draw on TJ. Give me an example, because you can't just be calling out Destin, and you don't have like a shred of like. Give me an example of when he caved into the chaos.
So he caved into the chaos when he started calling us crazy. He kept on calling us insane, fanboys, and it's like you're saying there's no Xbox tax, but there is. I mean, like all the games that get rated. I mean, perfect example. Pentiment got 92 on PlayStation when it went over there recently, and
Mm-hmm.
on Xbox it's an 85 or an 86. So that's just a perfect example of why people are sitting there saying there's no Xbox tax. Well, there is.
But
I mean, he kind of put his own foot in his mouth, man. I get it. He's got to pay his bills, and I get it. He wants the clicks. I get it, but you don't go pissing off the fan base that follows you like religiously, or that always checks in to see the news. It's like a news network for the news
wait
for
a minute.
politics.
Oh, hold on.
You don't piss them off.
Wait a minute. I can't believe you just said. Did you say you don't piss off your fans that watch you? So
Exactly.
if that's a bad thing, then put me right next to Destin. Because I will say what I think, and I don't care if it pisses off people that have been listening.
You're not picking sides. That's the difference. I've been watching you guys for a while, like a long time, for like over a year. And the reason why I like your guys' podcast is because you guys don't pick sides. You say about both sides. That's the big difference.
Oh.
When I watch Destin, he talks about PlayStation, but barely. And then when he called out the Xbox fan base and said we're delusional, we're crazy, we're insane, I'm like, dude, you just literally put a middle finger to your whole freaking subscriber account. It's like, man, you just messed up big time.
Okay, so your issue is that he picked a side.
That'd be like Biden going over to all the Democrats and saying, yeah, I don't give a shit about you. Or Trump saying, I don't give a shit about you. And saying that publicly on TV. They just won't do that because what's the point? What are you going to do? You're going to tank your whole career? I mean, come on. It's the same thing. You don't want to take.
So your problem is that he picked a side.
Yeah,
that's your issue.
Yeah, well, it's not that he picked a side. It's the fact that he was doing it for the clicks. I mean, when he had that call in, kind of like how you're doing a call in right now. You're having us come on and speaking our minds about the information. He would let people spit their bars, but then he would turn around and say, yeah, I'm getting the next caller. It's like, dude, the guy's not even finished talking and you're already gonna kick him out. I mean, that's kind of rude.
Let's break this down into pieces because we're not rushing, and I'm not trying to badger you or whatever. I'm just trying to understand, right? No. Like where you are coming from.
Yeah.
When you say he's doing it for clicks, and then you're using like me and Ham as an example of like people that are just trying to be as real as possible. Are you assuming that we don't? Are you assuming that we don't want people to click on the show? Because that would be a lie.
You do, but the thing is, you guys don't make it that obvious, and you guys don't make it like. There's no good way to explain it. I mean, you guys do it in a way that people are like, they can look at it and take it at face value and say, okay, these guys are still real, but obviously they'll put something in the thumbnail or whatever or something, that sounds interesting that'll make me want to click it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When you're Destin and you're saying you're covering Xbox topics, and then you turn around and say to the fan base, yeah, you guys are insane, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy for thinking there's an Xbox tax. You're delusional. It's like, maybe you should do that on another podcast. I've gotten tired of watching podcasters sit there and they've contradicted themselves. I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's people that have like literally Xbox in their podcast name, and then they trash Xbox just because of one little thing didn't go the way they wanted it. And the problem is, I get it because you guys don't have a centric just Xbox podcast, so that's why yours doesn't get hate and doesn't get flagged like that, because yours
Yeah,
is different. Yours is all around. It's all the consoles. So yours
it's all
is
gaming.
okay. Yeah, exactly. So nobody can pick a fight with you and sit there and say, "Oh, you're not a true Xbox fan." Dude, I know you have a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a PC. I'm not gonna sit there and say you're not a true gamer or whatever. I know you're a gamer at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
I'm just tired of I went from watching 40 podcasts, I went down to 10 because I got tired of them. And yeah, I'm not
And
gonna call it any other names because I don't want Ham and you to get in
yeah, I
trouble.
don't want to have to
Yeah,
deal with that.
don't worry,
I'm
don't worry.
good.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Let's
Okay.
just say
All
I
right.
called out some big names. Let's just say that, but I'm not gonna do it on your
Yeah.
podcast because I
And
don't want you guys. Yeah.
you'd rather watch us
Yep.
than those guys.
Yep. You guys are entertaining. You guys have great personalities. You guys are different. You're not so
That's
generic
wild.
like reading a script. I actually feel like I'm listening to a real podcast with real people, not like a damn bot. You know.
Damn. Yeah, wow. Okay. No,
Vincent
I'm not
Vega,
going to
Xbox,
pretend.
I barely knew they.
Yeah, I barely knew they existed. No, I'm not gonna lie, Ron TJ. Like, very flattered right now. Very flattered. All right. So you brought up the thumbnail for people
Yep.
because people will be looking for clicks with
Mm-hmm.
their thumbnails. You guys saw mine. What did you think of it? Actually, let me put it up.
Yours is neutral. You
What?
don't like
The thumbnail I just put up?
Yeah, it's neutral.
This
You
is
don't.
neutral.
Yeah, that's neutral. Yeah,
You capping. You are capping hard right now. Mental. Is that neutral?
It's not looking overly neutral to me, but
Thank you very much. Thank you.
that's
That is,
it. Definitely is expressing an opinion, if you ask me. but-
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I like it.
Yeah, I try. Go,
Nah,
Paul. I
but
think
at
Nothing to
least,
see here. Move
hey,
along.
Loke, look at like this, dude.
Yeah.
At least you don't look like Dreamcast guy where he's got his mouth wide open. He's going, he's like all shocked and shit every time.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you can look at the beginning of his podcast, of his podcasting
Mhm.
career or YouTube career, all the way to now. It's the same freaking thumbnail. He just slightly changes his skin tone. Yeah.
Damn.
Get it? Because he's bulimic or he's going to die because Sony's sucking the life force out of him.
Oh goodness. All right. Let's bring it back. Ray Cheetah
So-
dropped the Two Bovas channel, Xbox centric channel, because it was toxic. We won't agree with all the YouTubers I quite like. Mental, what's your take on this whole thing about maybe the YouTubers or people like Destin are picking a side and maybe they're picking the wrong side? And would you drop a podcast because they said something that you didn't agree with?
If there's I understand people get in their feelings sometimes, right? So
or going based off rumors and then saying I have sources. Like, dude, shut up. If your sources can't confirm it and you can't say the name of the source, then don't say it at all. That's what really drove me nuts. Like these big YouTubers that everybody looks to for Xbox news kept on saying my sources. I've heard this. It's like, dude, shut up. If it's not coming from the horse's mouth, then shut your mouth and just say, hey, this is my opinion. You could say that. That'd be fine. Everybody could take that at face value and not get mad. But when you say my sources, everybody's believing you have a source.
I would probably do something like this is what I'm hearing. Take it with a grain
Okay.
of salt.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it may or may not happen. This is the current vibe though that I'm getting from people I know. Something like that, right? You always have to, unless you know for an absolute fact, you've seen the contract signed and the paperwork's gone out. I'll always say, you know, this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. If I don't know I'm 100% right, I make it clear I don't know. And I think that's
Yeah.
where some of these guys get themselves into trouble. Now, going back to my original point, like I'm not necessarily going to drop a podcast because they say one thing I don't like. If there gets to be a pattern where it's, you know, every second podcast, I'm finding I'm in, you know, major disagreement with the person, or, you know, finding that I'm not enjoying the content, yeah, then I'll drop the podcast. I won't watch it as often. I do, like with this whole games going to PlayStation and stuff, you know, as a PC guy, it doesn't, you know, I don't really have a horse in the race, if you want to say that. But at the same time, I do believe that.
Oh,
yeah,
that's on the snout. Actually, it's on the snout. But okay.
There you go. I do believe though that exclusives, at least in the current market for consoles, are important. And I do believe that if Xbox does indeed drop all their games on PlayStation, that would not only be bad for Xbox, like I could see their hardware business completely disappear, which is bad for people that own Xbox games digitally, because eventually, why are you going to build a console if there's no reason to, if no one's buying it, right? So then, you know, eventually those older consoles die, you've lost your digital library. So in that respect, I think the competition, at least the way it is now, you need a healthy Xbox with good exclusives to draw people to that platform. If they start giving those away, no one's going to buy an Xbox. Like, personally for me, Game Pass would not be enough at that point. If I look at the cost of the console and and whatnot, I mean, I'd probably be able to buy most of the games that I would be interested in, or that would be must-plays for me. Frankly, I have Game Pass. I barely ever play anything in it, to be perfectly honest. And I'm debating whether or not I'll renew it when it runs out finally. You know, I did it through the pay $1, get a whole 3 years or whatever way back when. I've done that a couple times where I've extended it. But it's to the point where, you know, I don't know that I would bother. Because I don't remember the last time I played a game in Game Pass that I didn't already own or have on PC.
Or had plans to buy it eventually, but you didn't have the time to buy it now and play it now. So you're like, let me just leave this. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, like there's games that have been in Game Pass that I wanted to play that left Game Pass before I had time to play them. Red Dead Redemption 2 was one of them, right? So I ended up having to buy it on PC. I didn't buy it on Xbox because I might as well play on my PC where I get higher frame rate, etc. Right? It's I don't know. Like I say, you need competition. So I guess in that respect, like a lot of the bigger podcasts, you know, they were like, "Oh yeah, no, this is the way it's going. Get used to it," rather than standing up and saying this sucks for consumers. Because again, if Xbox isn't healthy and there's not that competition on the console front, what do you think will happen to prices? Right? You need competitive, or a competitive environment in order to keep prices in check. You can already see with Sony having the lead they have, they don't care about raising the price on their console at all. Like, people will still buy it. Why, I don't know, but people still buy it. I mean,
Mozambique doesn't reflect the entire gaming community, right? John TJ, it says here your devices are not connected. You must have mic failure or something on your end. So as I was saying, Mozambique doesn't reflect the entire gaming community. Probably doesn't even reflect 0.1%, right? But still, when the original PS5 came out, it was selling for about $2,000.
Yeah,
straight up,
insane.
and people were paying, right? The PS5 Slim is now available in Mozambique, and it's selling for $500, which is insane, considering like the US dollar versus our local our local currency. So there's definitely been a shift here that's happening in terms of like the demand for the PS5. Even the people that like to buy and stockpile PS5s are stepping back, like maybe the market's saturated.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Which
and
is
that
wild
happens
because
eventually.
the PS4's got how many the install base, isn't it like 120 million or something?
It's got to be.
130
It's a
million.
big
Is it up to
130
130?
million.
Yeah.
But the PS5, I think it was a month or 2 months ago, it was
At 50?
celebrating 50 million.
Mhm.
So again, take this with a very large pinch of salt.
Well,
but how can the market start getting saturated when you've only reached 50% of what you had before?
because they haven't dropped the price. The Slim models
Yeah.
usually go down in price, right? By the time the PS4 Slim was out, it was down to like $300.
Yeah.
They raised the price because they took out the, they raised the price on the digital by $50 plus no vertical stands, so it's really an $80 increase. And they did the same thing with the disc version. No vertical stands. So if you want that, most people want to have them stand as a tower. You're spending an extra 30, right? So when you raise prices after dropping your build of materials costs, people tend to get annoyed. At least I do.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not making
A
money.
Slim should go like $100 cheaper. Like, I agree with you, Mental. The thing is, like, I remember buying like an Xbox 360 Slim or a Xbox One X. It got cheaper. Actually, or it got cheaper eventually. Like a year after release, it always drops down to $100 at the very minimum, at least, because they want you to buy it. So, I mean, that's the marketing stance I would take if I was Microsoft and Sony. But I mean, hey, they must be seeing some metrics we're not seeing, because I don't get it, honestly.
Yeah. No, I mean, Sony announced by August 2021 is when they announced that the PS5 hardware sales were now profitable.
Yeah, but they're raising them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It starts to become being viewed anyway, from my perspective, as price gouging at that point.
Yep.
Consoles are supposed to sell basically at cost because they make hand over fist money because they have a lockdown on their store on the machine, right? Accessories way overpriced, right? They make big margins on those pieces. So they're typically you would sell your console even slightly at a loss at launch, but through the life cycle of it, as long as you're breaking even, it's good to get the thing out into the market. So maybe this is a good indicator too that Sony's plans are to really shift and get things on PC day and date. Maybe they're not as worried about console sales now, and that's why they've taken this path.
Yeah.
That's happening eventually. I'm just saying, I never thought we were this close to maybe not having consoles anymore. I was 100% sure that I would probably die and there would still be Xboxes being made, PlayStations being made.
There'll still be Xboxes being made. They're just gonna add Windows fully to it. They're
going to make it so seamless, and that's the thing. They're going to remove the barrier.
They'll keep Microsoft Word, Excel, and everything out of it. It'll just be either Microsoft Edge, the browser, and you'll boot up your so-called console, and it will have Windows. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna have to, if they want to make it seamless, they're gonna have to eliminate where it takes all these damn drivers. Now, if it's a custom GPU, CPU, or APU, then we won't have that problem. It'll just be you have Windows and you have Steam, and then you got modding and stuff, and then you got your Xbox, but it's in a smaller form and it's cheaper and it's easier to grab on the go. That's what they're going to try to do, and I don't mind that, honestly. I got a PC. I got a really expensive PC, but I don't play anything on it except for RTSs. So I want Steam on my Xbox because I prefer controller when I play RTS. It already
All right,
supports
well,
keyboard and mouse.
let's get
So
into this whole.
yeah, they
Sounds
should.
familiar what he's saying though,
Let's get into
Alok.
this whole thing. Yeah, it does. It does sound very familiar, and again, the barrier is going to get thinner and thinner and thinner to the point where people are going to start asking themselves, "What's the point?" People like me that like convenience. You build me a PC that lasts essentially what the console lasts in terms of time, but doesn't have all the disadvantages of consoles, right? Which is I can't play all the games. I don't own anything really
Yeah,
because of the store and how it works. I can't mod the hell out of the game to put Afro Samurai in whatever game I want to put him in, etc. Right? It it's gonna it gets to the point where you have maybe one or two reasons to get a console, and then like 15 to get a PC. And as for the chat that we're having earlier about PS Plus or Game Pass or whatever, for me, I can't cancel Game Pass because it's not just for me. You know, I've got my kids.
your game sharing. Yeah,
No, I have my kids. They
you
like
know you
to.
can share the subscription, right? I shared with my cousin a game share with my profile, and he has access. It says he doesn't
Oh,
own
game.
Game Pass, but he
Mhm.
does through me. It's glitched and it works. And actually, they don't want to fix it because if it means more voices talking about Game Pass at the end of the day, they're happy with it. But yeah, my cousin has access to Game Pass thanks to me. He gets it through me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So for
just
me,
thought you would
I'm
want to
with
know.
you,
Yeah.
mentor, in terms of you have one game. Oh, sorry, you have this habit of buying games, so you don't see value in Game Pass. But if there's value, if there's other people attached and benefiting from your subscription, you kind of have to keep it going, which is where I
Yeah.
feel I am right now. I'm hamstrung.
I'm
I
see for me right now because you can only have two people on it. I have two Game Pass subscriptions, right? I'm paying for myself plus my kids, who
yeah.
share one, and I might change my mind about me having it if they come out with a family plan like they were talking about. That
Yeah,
seems to
they
have
need
just gone
to.
the way of the
We
dodo.
did have a family plan, thank goodness, right? That South Africa was one of the areas that they gave the family game pass thing. I hooked it up with my brothers, and it was a blast for the 2 months that it was
It's
operational.
friends and family. It's not just for
I
family.
hope it comes
The
back.
the
Yeah,
cool part
yeah.
Hmm.
is it was is you can use it across different states. It's not like Hulu or YouTube TV where you have to be in the exact same city address. You just
Mm,
have to be in the same country. So if I wanted to give Loke Game Pass, Family Game Pass, I would have to be either in the
mhm.
same country or I'd have to use a VPN in order for him to get it.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
But I like
All
it. It
right.
sounds great. $30, I'd be willing to pay that, man. I mean,
Yeah,
realistically, people could just pay me $3, $5 a piece. That's cheaper.
bro.
Yeah.
One of us, we already came up with a plan because we just assumed Xbox was going to green light this forever, right? But they didn't. We already came up with a plan. Like, dude, I'm going to pay for 1 year, and then my other brother will pay for the second year, and then the other brother will pay for the third year. And then, but
Yeah.
by the time it comes back to you, it's like, dude, you had 2 free years.
Let
Yeah.
me
It
let me
was,
ask you, why do you think they stopped talking about it? And do you think the ABK deal and all this nonsense got in the way of it, or do you think they're still working out the kinks and they're trying to figure out a way to make sure people can exploit it? Like what do you think?
I
Because it's kind of weird how it died, you know?
it didn't die. It just went away. They
Oh,
didn't officially say
yeah.
that this is never going to happen. They just said it came to the end of its pilot edition, and they were gonna revisit or they just said it came to the end of the pilot. That's all they said. But
I
Maybe
as
think
the
far as
pilot
going,
wasn't successful enough.
Oh, well, bullshit.
no,
Give it to the
I
States
think
and it'll sell like firecrackers, man. People will love it.
Maybe they realized it would cost them too much money
Oh,
yeah,
bull.
yeah.
in
No,
subscriptions.
I don't think so, man. I think if you market it right, you can get way more
Mhm.
subscribers faster.
And that's Xbox's Achilles heel, marketing.
Oh, I know. The
They're
marketing.
terrible.
You know what?
They are
The last
terrible.
No,
the
I
last
agree
yeah.
that they would get
And like
more subscribers.
Aaron Greenberg needs to get fired. I'm sorry. I live in Mozambique.
No,
People
no,
barely even know
he's
that thing
good.
exists.
It's just the other
He ain't
part of the team that's crap.
good
Yeah,
enough.
because they used to be
He,
good
he ain't good
in the
enough. I'm just
360
saying, there's
era,
random
and
old
Xbox
ladies in Mozambique.
original era.
Nope. Even during the 360 era, they
Yeah,
still weren't good. I'm not talking about the US, dude. If you're good at marketing, you've got random ass
oh, I'm talking
people
about the
talking
US.
about whatever it is
Yeah,
that you're marketing. I'm talking about
because now
the
it's even
reason.
shit in the US,
Hold
bro.
up, Ron
I,
TJ.
I,
Hold up. Breathe. Breathe, TJ. What I'm talking about is that there's levels of marketing. Okay? LeBron James is known by people that don't consume basketball. PlayStation, there are people that don't play video games that are very aware of the
yeah,
PlayStation brand. Xbox fails dismally when it comes to that because Nintendo, you got a bunch of people that know what Nintendo is. They've never held a controller. They know what Nintendo is.
Hmm.
Rolex. Most people on the planet have never worn a genuine Rolex watch, but that marketing is impeccable. So we have to agree on one thing. Those guys are terrible with marketing. Go pull the big test will be COD to Game Pass. They're gonna drop the bag again. I promise you. COD could go day one to Game Pass. There'll be more players on PlayStation than Xbox if they don't change their behavior. Because even Game Pass itself, most people aren't aware of what Game Pass is.
Yeah, I have friends that their kids have an Xbox and the parents still call it a PlayStation.
There you go.
yeah. That's
So,
bad.
you know,
Yeah.
what does that tell you
It's
about
levels, guys.
Xbox's marketing? Yeah. Anyway,
Terrible. And it's not like they don't have a budget. It's just I'm just assuming like Aaron, man, just you need to stop talking to these influencers on Twitter, Aaron, and you need to start working. All right. Get some teams out there, start flying around. All right. Anyways, before we start, let's just start with the video that Mental sent. Oh my goodness, this
it's
is
an eye
going
opener.
to
This one
be.
was, at least for me.
We shall
Yeah.
see. We shall see. First off, let's also agree that we cannot just take everything anyone says at face value. All right. And I reserve the right to pause this video and for us to do like 5-minute Google searches. Because a lot of people, right, and this is a weakness of our community, if we're being fair. A lot of people listen to stuff on podcasts, they read articles, and they just run with it. No one takes the 5 minutes that it takes to open the website, open the article, read, and confirm that what's being said by whoever is true.
Check
That's
the
because most
source.
people just read headlines. They don't even read
Yeah.
articles anymore. They read a headline, and that's all. That's the extent of their knowledge on the topic.
Well, today
Pathetic, man.
people's attention
Attention spans.
is like less than a
Mm.
minute, so it's pretty damn bad, to be honest.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
It's Endymion, and there's been an explosion of information circulating all over Twitter and other places when it comes to the sweet, stinky, putrid baby and their stain upon the masses of video games.
Sweet, stinky, putrid baby. Damn.
I think he's a fan.
Damn.
I think he's a fan.
Wow.
You mean like a stand? Like
Alright.
he's
Oh,
He's-
jeez. Yeah.
All right.
I figured for now we'd be good. There couldn't possibly be more. But like Goku achieving new levels of Super Saiyan, this story keeps getting more powerful and insane as time goes on. Now it turns out we may have found a connection to Sweet Baby's inception, and it connects in a really bizarre way that you need to see in order to believe. Beyond this, the founder of the baby has been found to call white male players as picky babies. And Suicide Squad, which has obviously failed and imploded in front of Warner Bros. Discovery's eyes, has decided that not only are players wrong, but Suicide Squad is Warner's future. It's a lot, so let's keep this simple to begin with, those weird connections and how this may have all started. So far, what we know for sure is that Sweet Baby Inc. was founded in 2018 by Kim Belair, and it's a consulting company that was created to boost marginalized voices within video games through.
I need to make a poll asking people who they would want as president, Anita Sarkeesian or Kim Belair. I think that's going to go down very well with everyone.
Through narrative, script dialogue, quest design, and much more. Sometimes it's more of a subtle endeavor, and sometimes it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like having a black girl in God of War Ragnarok who's apparently from a race of giants that originates from Norse mythology within a very white part of the world. As in, every single Norse villain within Ragnarok is white, every citizen is white, and even Atreus, whose mother is a giant, is also white. But randomly, for no reason at all, there just happens to be a black girl in this same giant race. Of course, it was done for representational.
All right, let's stop right here. This is the first one. Gents, is this forced diversity in your guys' opinion?
So, the Norse people did travel around the world. So, theoretically, I think it's possible you could have a mixed race person as part of that lore. That's my take. It is possible. But does it make sense in the sense of the game and what I think has been set up previously? Probably not so much. So I would tend to lean towards the probably it's a little bit forced. Side. It feels a bit forced. I think it feels a bit forced.
All right, John TJ.
Yeah, it's definitely forced in a way. It is.
And the other thing I'll say, this, you remember how I said that this is the first time I'd fallen asleep while playing a game? This was the part of the game where I was falling asleep regularly. Trying to play through this whole piece was incredibly boring.
While your fans falling asleep.
Yeah, it was incredibly boring. To me, anyway. And maybe not to other people. I don't know. Maybe other people enjoyed it. I found this part incredibly boring. And it has nothing to do with the well, I guess it has something to do with the characters. The whole part they were going through was just really boring. Anyway, that's a side note. And that said, okay. I don't think she was a bad character necessarily. Like, it just, there was a lot of boring stuff associated with it.
What you're saying is she didn't fit the narrative, right?
I had trouble extracting value from this part of the game.
I'm not talking about her in general. I'm just talking about like her character didn't make sense in that part of in the story, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was unlocking parts of the history and stuff, which I get. I just found the way they did it boring. Like, it could have been done way faster. I don't think I've never
played God of War, so I can't really say much on it. But it looks like a pretty game. Looks good. It would be a game I'd play once and I'd never play again because I'd beat it and I wouldn't touch it after that. But it looks good.
It wasn't horrible or anything. I think it was overrated. Anyway, I'm getting us off topic here. Sorry, Lo. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I have to expose myself real quick. I wasn't really stressed expose. The Alex dance.
Yeah.
I wasn't really against, like the addition of the character, but
Yeah.
I didn't
I wasn't
enjoy
either, to be
this.
clear.
This I did not enjoy. And I know it's a small thing, but this just it didn't work for me.
The riding around on the bull thing or
Something,
whatever.
yeah. Not
Yeah, I
riding
found it.
on it, but specifically having to sit behind. That
Oh,
I
yeah.
know someone's going to clip this and talk about toxic masculinity and all that other shit, but it bothered me. I'm
I
not going
honestly,
to
I didn't
lie.
care about that as much as I just found this whole storyline incredibly boring. But anyway,
I need to
go
find
ahead,
one
bud.
where they jump on the bull again. Damn it, this video doesn't have it. But okay, you played the game, Mental. So you
Yep.
remember that no matter how you try to jump onto the bull or cow or whatever, she
Yeah.
would always jump in front.
Yeah.
People talk about microaggressions. I felt microaggressed against, I guess,
Hmm.
every single time that happened. And it felt very much like it was on purpose, which is fine, if that's your vision and you want to make people feel uncomfortable. And the founder of Sweet Baby was very specific that that's one thing that she wants to do or enjoy or whatever, right? She wants to she has a message to share with the world, and she's not afraid about making sure that she gets it out there. And I think this design choice was very specifically put in there.
Yeah. See,
But
that's
yeah,
interesting. I just took that as she knew where she was going, so she's driving. That's how I kind of just
yeah,
took that part of it. Didn't think much of it, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I can
yeah.
see
And
your
also
point.
also if you reinstall the game, it was also the way that that you'd get shoved to the side or to the back. Anyways, me with my
Okay.
toxic.
Purpose likely was pushed by Sweet Baby from the get-go in order to ensure there was some diversity in the game. But we all know that if God of War was, for example, in the future having a game based on African mythology, that they would absolutely not make any of that mythology or its characters randomly into a white person, because
I would like to disagree with this guy. I think for sure you would have white people in a African mythology setting. I will also guarantee that the white characters will be evil, right? They will probably be the antagonists, and they'll probably be the enemies as well. Do you guys think this guy is on point when he says that there's no way there'll be white people?
I think
in
what he
an
means
African
is
game?
you wouldn't have them part of like the mythological gods or
Advantage, did you mute
whatever.
yourself? They wouldn't be part of the gods.
Yeah, I think that's what he's getting at.
Man.
I agree they would
And
definitely
that's
be
the
in there
thing.
probably as the antagonist. But
And that is the thing, right? Because one of my favorite things to do is the empathy exercise of whenever something's being done to someone, would you do you can you flip it around and still feel comfortable about that happening, right? So it's like would we feel comfortable with an African god being white? Me personally, right? As an African myself, I would not feel comfortable. I wouldn't be okay with that.
Don't blame me at all.
I don't care how many white people had been in Africa until that time. Until today, you could make a modern game in Africa Don't you dare tell me that there's a white god in Africa.
Well, the thing is,
that's just not going to fly.
Other cultures look at God as in their own image, in their own way. Like there's people that believe in Gandhi. You know, Gandhi is their god, right? Even though he's Indian, you know, and then people believe in Allah, and then there's people that believe in Jesus Christ, God, Jesus,
Buddha.
you know, like that. But it's different in every culture. You go to any country and you ask someone what they think about God, or they think about the higher being. They always say something different. It's never the same. You go to any country, it doesn't matter if it's Africa, it doesn't matter if it's in the Middle East, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everybody's got their own idea or what they think based off of old scrolls, texts, testaments, or pieces of rock that have been etched in. Whether or not it's true or not, at the end of the day, everybody has their own take on it. I know that might offend people, what I just said, but I mean, that's how it is, though.
It's true. Yeah, I think like what he's getting at is, if you, let's just say the Norse people were all black, and then that girl was white. That's probably what he's saying, right? If you reverse the history there and just switch
that would never
races.
Fly.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
don't care what the metric you use. I don't care if you want to put like half the gods. I don't care if you want to make half the gods in Africa white, if you want to make 1/10 of them white, if you want to make 0.1% of them white. That's just not going to fly.
Yeah.
It's not going
and I think
to
that's
happen.
all he's getting at.
So
yeah.
So for me, I feel like, why is, if we would not let it fly, why would we be okay with it flying on the other side? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
No,
this
I
is
get
not,
what you're saying.
the idea is not to commit revenge, whether it's cultural revenge, racial revenge, or what. The idea is not to create revenge, though. The idea is to create an equal world, an equal and fair world. So if this happens, and that's why I get touched about this, or sorry, that's why I get emotional about this, or angry about this, because I immediately, whenever I see something, I immediately put it onto me and ask myself, would I be okay with this? And I would not be okay if someone made a AAA, you know what, indie game. I don't care if anyone made anything, a story, even a book where you describe one of the African gods as pale-skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't care. People want to call me racist or whatever, but that's how I would feel about that specific situation. You can say that
it would make sense
that they came and they were part of the whatever, but you deities, come on, man. Come on. Gogo Pose asking Gandhi is a god. No, Gandhi is not a god. I don't think Gandhi is even considered a god. I think if you Google or even ask any Indian person, I don't think in India, I think it's mostly like Krishna, and like I think they have hundreds of gods in India, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Gandhi, I don't think Gandhi is one of them. We need more Mesopotamian gods in video games. Yeah. Some diverse gods. That would be nice. But let's carry on with the video.
That would be culturally tone deaf and racist.
Okay, so we agree that this guy is wrong on that specific point, right?
Yeah.
All right.
To do so. But it's totally fine if it's done within a Norse mythological setting. Just ignore the fact that Norse mythology is intrinsically connected to Norwegian people, who are predominantly blue-eyed and blonde-haired. Don't use logic or reasoning to understand this. Just shut your mouth and consume product like a good consumer instead. Because that's what these consulting groups want us all to do anyway. Sweet Baby has obviously left their stink all over the gaming industry already, but now it gets way weirder than before. Ever wonder how a company like Sweet Baby even comes to exist in the first place? And who else is a part of this company? How do these things even come to be? Well, let's take a journey together, friends, and let's go learn how the sausage gets made, shall we? So since this huge story has been blowing up, people have been digging all over, and one of the discoveries is another company with an equally weird name in the form of Baby Ghosts.
What is up with this obsession with baby? What's that about? Okay, does anyone know what that's
I
about?
don't know.
Or does he explain
I don't
why
know, man.
they focus on the baby word in the video? Okay.
I don't
Jacob,
remember if he gets
welcome in,
specifically
Jacob.
into the baby stuff, but I
Todo.
find it bizarre.
I'm just saying, I see when I see a trend, I would like to get it explained, you know? But okay, let's go.
According to its website, Baby Ghosts is a grant and peer accelerator company that helps marginalized individuals create their studios into a reality. They further
Up until there, I'm good with it. I'm good
Yeah.
with people, companies, or organizations specifically trying to fund diverse developers or whatever.
explain what they do in their own words here, which says, Baby Ghosts and Gamma Space Collaborative Studio have teamed up to offer a grant of $25,000 in a 2-part 6-month program of tailored mentorship with a community of game-making peers. We offer the space and the tools to develop a studio that doesn't need to adhere to inequitable systematic norms. Sounds nice and simple enough so far, right? What other
Yeah.
services do they give, you may be asking? Well, according to them, they offer things like helping you with team development, project management, publicity, and professional connections. That last one, by the way, is very, very important. And as they say, the more they engage with you, the more they can support you. But what this really means is the more they get to know you as a game developer, and if you have the right credentials, as in you're a person of color, you identify yourself using other buzz terms like maybe disabled or they, them pronouns, and so on. Then this Baby Ghost consulting team will then learn, oh, you're one of the good ones, a sweet baby, if you will. And then they'll use their connections to get other like-minded individuals to help and maybe even work with you on your game who also identify with similar buzz term words as well. And if you want that $25,000 grant to help you achieve your dreams, you kind of have to also be able to identify within these other labels as well. Firstly, you have to
All right. Thoughts? Jeez, man. This went downhill very
This
quickly.
guy's definitely got a vendetta.
He's not a fan.
He is not feeling them. Jeez. Okay, so let's look.
You'll
It
get
says
more
you have
insight
to be
into, I
based-
think, why he feels this strongly about it as he
Oh
goes
yeah,
on.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Once you see some of
you are
the
based
links.
in Canada. You're a member of an underrepresented group. You're a member of a team of at least 2 people.
So why are we
You're
just
building a
hearing
video
about
game
this
studio
now,
with
if you don't
corporate
mind me
technology.
asking? Why are we just hearing about Sweet Baby Inc?
Hearing
when
about
we've
what?
Never heard of them.
Well, they kind of did it to themselves, right? Because of that Steam curator group that started, that Sweet Baby Inc. detected, and then it's
Actually,
the Streisand
it wasn't
effect,
even
right?
them. It wasn't. I became aware of Sweet Baby because of Fritanga. Fritanga was talking about Sweet Baby, if I'm not
That's true,
mistaken,
months ago.
last year.
Yeah, months and months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. This guy was beefing with YouTube, and no one would touch the Sweet Baby.
Yeah, he got
situation.
demonetized. That video got demonetized when he first mentioned them by name, and then he had to pull it down.
Alone. yeah, remove the, and then he started referring to them as the company that would not be named or something like that.
That's right. Yeah,
like the dude
forgot about that.
Dude is persistent, man. Like after getting that strike, what he should have done is just take the video down and don't talk about it. He took it down, removed the name, and re-uploaded that bad boy. Like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not backing down. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Be Canadian, so sorry Americans, but it's that second point which says you are a member of an unrepresented group in the video game industry. So if you're a white hetero male, sorry, you are not eligible for this grant. What's that? You were born a white male against your own will? Have you ever considered that maybe your parents are racist for simply existing? Well, too bad, white hetero male game developer. Be gone with you. Your kind isn't allowed here in these parts, but if you're a person of color or pander in any way, shape, or form, well, congratulations, you just got accepted into the Baby Ghost program. But then it gets weirder because
No. I disagree with him. I think it's perfectly fine. Okay, this is maybe where we're going to start fighting with the chat, or I'm going to start fighting with you guys. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm perfectly fine with these consultancies having their funds and directing them to the people that they feel are the most disadvantaged. And I've seen statistics that show that, yes, most game developers are straight white males. I've seen those stats. And
Yeah,
I don't disagree with
you. We are what we do, and we make what we are. And the people that are predominantly developing games will do what they identify with most. So I'm not against these guys specifically targeting their money to these specific devs.
Ultimately, it comes down to this: it's their money; they can do what they want with it.
Yeah,
That's my take on it. Like, if that's how they want to allocate money, that's perfectly fine in my books. They can do it however they want.
yeah.
Like, in the way he says it, it's like it's nefarious. For me,
No,
it's like,
I don't think it's nefarious. I think they have like the right idea, but they expose themselves at the end of the day. That's what they did.
no, we'll get to the exposing part. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the rest of the video.
Yeah.
It turns out that Baby Ghost is actually funded by another company, which is called Weird Ghosts. A lot of bizarre names for these companies, I know. So, what's Weird Ghosts, you may be asking? Well, according to their website, Weird Ghosts is an impact fund for studios led by underrepresented founders across Canada. We support video game studios with studio development training, catalytic investments, and community in order to build strong, impactful teams of underrepresented makers who are shaping the future of video games. So, Weird Ghost.
Again, I see no red flags. Anyone in the chat see a red flag? Just say something, please. If you see a red flag and that we are missing or we're not hearing, tell us.
Is a bigger company that through other shell companies like Baby Ghosts use their influence to help what they call underrepresented groups begin working in video games. The site even says in their own words that Weird Ghosts invests in founders who want to build profitable, impact-oriented studios with a long-term vision and commitment to equitable, worker-centric structures. There's that keyword there, by the way, impact. They want whatever it is you're making to change how things are done. That's the key initiative here, and what I want you to zero in as we go along. So it's not enough that you're from an...
Jesus Christ, this guy. So I don't see a problem with people trying to impact whatever it is that they're doing.
It's like I said,
when I started this podcast with Ham, one of the things we wanted to do was impact the discourse around video games. Are we now like a nefarious, evil, whatever? Are we trying to?
We know you are. We know that you are. We just don't want to advertise it, right?
Damn, I thought I'd go after you.
No, it's like I said on Friday, Loke. My opinion is they have the right to whatever agenda it is that they want to try and push. Right? In my opinion, they can do what they want. It's their business. It's their money. They can have their own agenda. They can have their vision statement, whatever it is. That's perfectly fine. I think as a gamer, though, I don't want to see games degrade in quality because of bad writing or forced agendas. If it happens organically within a game and it makes sense and the story's good, great. Because then you have a good game.
And let's get into that. But let's get into that. this thing about forcing agendas or bringing in agendas, the important discussion that we're not having here is that it doesn't matter what you want to say. Entertain us, and we will listen.
Exactly.
Because Akira Toriyama just passed out. He just passed away. Akira Toriyama had an agenda. Don't you dare lie to yourself and think Akira Toriyama he just wanted people to level up. He had his agenda. Look at Krillin's relationship with his wife 18. There's an agenda there if you look for it. But he's such a good crafter of stories, characters, and relationships that people looked right past whatever agenda he was planting and accepted it and took it on. The Matrix, there's an agenda in that movie, in that trilogy.
Yep.
But if you don't know how to entertain, it doesn't matter what you have to say. Even we can even go with podcasting, for example. Shout out to the 108 people currently watching us right now. Wow.
Oh, cool.
Across YouTube. Yeah, across YouTube and Twitter. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Even in podcasting, if you start with your agenda, which we all have, people are just going to bounce. The ones that disagree with you are going to bounce. The ones that agree with you might also leave because you're not presenting anything interesting. You're just regurgitating what they currently believe. Do you understand? We have a finite amount of hours and minutes in a day. You have to provide value for that 1 hour, 30 minutes, or whatever that you're asking of that person's time. And it goes to the same thing with movies, same thing with video games. Before the Barbie movie injects their politics or their agenda, they first entertained their female-centric audience.
Yep.
Before Oppenheimer did whatever they did, because I'm still kind of flabbergasted at the feeling that I got watching that movie. Before Oppenheimer did what it did, first they gave us the wow. First they pulled you in. You have to give the candy first, and then we can talk about your pronouns and all this other stuff. And that's why I think a lot of the discourse is being lost with this whole sweet baby thing. It's not that they're pushing an agenda. The left has always been pushing the agenda. The right has always been pushing their agenda.
Yep.
The problem is when the opposing views put their agenda ahead of entertaining people. That's when you have a problem.
Exactly.
Rachie said he loved the end song. Go RDR2 on Xbox One was nice though. Okay.
Underrepresented group, or that you go by whatever pronouns that you do. But you also need to be politically and socially aligned with these ghost companies in order to receive your grant. Then you are overseen by these groups to ensure that what you're making is pushing what they want to see. Okay,
Yes.
Very cool. So then you're probably asking, who the hell is controlling these companies then? Who are the people behind this? Well, one of them is this person named Jenny Robinson Faber, who, according to their bio on the Weird Ghost website, says, Jenny, she is a queer white settler community arts advocate and organizer, software developer, and leader in the IDM industry for over 15 years. She co-founded the video games arts nonprofits DMG Toronto with Cecily.
All right, I'm sorry, I have to stop there. She's
Damn,
a
that's
queer
mouthful.
white settler. Settler. Did she colonize the US?
That sounds
Well,
like
in this
Ancient
case, it's
Empires.
Oh, sorry, this is
Canada.
Toronto. Sorry, it's Canada.
Yeah.
My bad. Did she personally colonize Canada? Because
Oh my
oh
God.
God. You see, when you
Yeah,
do
it's-
this,
it's-
right? And the problem with these types of mentalities, or I don't know, I don't even know what to call it. What you're doing is you're taking the poisons of your predecessors, and then now you are now responsible for said poisons, right, or actions or whatever. So this goes back to my empathy thing, where when something happens, I always put it onto myself and say, how would I feel if it happened to me, right? This is one of those where it's like, okay, your theory is that you should be labeled a settler because you are a descendant of colonizers. If we follow that logic, mental, anyone that is the son or daughter of a rapist is automatically what?
Yeah.
If your father or mother killed someone, you are now a murderer. Do you understand how the whole
it's a
thing
very
just falls
bizarre
apart in 2
mentality.
seconds?
Yeah, it's a very bizarre mentality. Yeah, I personally, I don't get it. I mean, it was my grandparents that moved to Canada from Germany many years ago. Yeah, it's do I consider myself? I'm a Canadian. I was born here. That's how I see myself. My parents were not born here, so I guess like they were born in Europe, moved here with their parents, but I was born here. Like if she like I don't know. I think to me it's like, well, why don't you move then? If you don't think you belong here, if you consider yourself a settler, then maybe you should move.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what?
Move back to where you came from. I don't know.
Trace your ancestry and move all the way back there. And if we all do
Yeah.
what she's saying, is that not falling right into the hands of the racists themselves, the people, right, that you guys are always shitting on, talking about, oh, this guy's horrible because he keeps telling people go back to wherever you came from. The only solution to solving the current problem that you have self-inflicted is for everyone to move back to wherever they're at, or wherever their ancestry is from.
Yeah.
It's a strange. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will.
It's a strange world we live in, so I mean, yeah, it gets pretty crazy.
I don't know.
But
And
it shows you where she's coming from
we can
anyway.
switch it around.
Yeah.
Mental. We can also switch it around. John TJ, listen to this.
What?
In South Africa, there's a conflict going on that there's like a political party of Black Africans in South Africa talking about the white settlers. They call them settlers. They don't even call them the white South Africans. They call them the white settlers. Need to get kicked out of South Africa. Would this person and people like her champion that movement? People that were born in South Africa, people that are raising their families in South Africa, their parents were also born there as well, because in terms of actual settlers, they're all dead. Actual settlers that came to South Africa, colonized the country, killed people, did all these atrocities, they're all dead. Not one of them is alive. So by this person's logic, whatever's happening in South Africa, like the attacks on the farms of white South Africans and whatever, that's a good thing. That's a pro.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's carry on, because this is wild.
Carvey and Alex.
And I was enjoying this video when I was disagreeing with this guy, because I was ready to be like, this guy's just anti. and fuck him. But the tide is turning.
Lich and Gamma Space Collaborative Studio with Henry Faber and Dan Toliver. In 2015, she joined the board of the Toronto Media Arts Centre and became its operations director in 2017. Yeah, you read that right, fellas. They unironically refer to themselves as white settlers in their public professional biography. You can smell the white liberal woman guilt from here, but surely that is a one-and-done expression, right? Well, who's the other founder? Well, this is where things get really interesting. Their name is Eileen Mary Holoka, who, according to their bio, Eileen, she is a queer and disabled white settler living on Treaty 1 territory in Winnipeg. They are a writer, game dev, and community organizer advocate with a background in theater, games, poetry, and health communications. They have a PhD in communication studies from Concordia University and have published extensively within and outside of academia. They are a co-founder of both Weird Ghosts and Baby Ghosts with Jenny Robinson Faber, as well as a member of Gamma Space Collaborative Studio. They have also worked as the general manager of Infinite Ammo. Oh, so the white settler bio description isn't just a one-and-done sort of thing. You could almost say that it's a mandatory identification term that's designed to easily triangulate and point out who the white people are amidst the crowd here, which is just wow, dude, wow. The inner hatred of white liberal women is truly one of the greatest jokes of the modern era. These are the sort of people who likely think it's great that people burn down cities in protest. They're like...
All right, pause. Google Poll just brings up a good point. What's a white settler? What do they mean? Let's take a minute. Can we quickly Google what a white settler is instead of just assuming, right? White settler meaning. What? All right. Let me share this because if I just say it, right, maybe people will say I'm capping. Let me share the screen. Oh goodness, this is going to be a long log. Here we go. Where is it? White settlers.
Well, I looked it up, and I'm not afraid to say it because I don't care. It says noun, a well-off incomer to a district who takes advantage of what it has to offer without regard to local inhabitants.
Yep, that's what it says. That's what it says right here. Also found in Wikipedia, white settler, a well-off incomer to a district who takes advantage of what is to offer without regard for local inhabitants from earlier colonial stance. So you see, even the dictionary puts in a little asterisk here. This applies from earlier colonial stance. All right, Google Poll. There you know. There you go. Now you know what a white settler is. Let's go back to the video, please. This is wild because I did say we're going to get into this in a autistic manner, but I think we're getting beyond autistic. Never heard of the term before. Dude, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I just took like the definition of the word, and that's why I ran with it. I hadn't heard about this. I'm assuming it's white guilt over settling America, but this is Canada. It's not even America. What makes you a well-off incomer? Race, salary, bro. Let's see. Maybe in the video we'll get a discount.
Likely also the same kinds of people who would get mugged in broad daylight and refuse to give a description of the person in fear of being racist. Also, find it very interesting that Weird and Baby Ghost both work to prop up marginalized voices within the gaming industry and refuse to work with white people in general. Yet, unironically, these companies...
So, again, like I'm okay with the company saying that they want to prop up marginalized people.
Let him finish that sentence. Let him finish his thought, and then we can comment on it. I wanted to hear. I can't remember what he said there when I watched it days ago.
Google's asking dumb questions. There's no such thing as dumb questions, bro. We're all lost here, all right? Only they know what they're saying, but okay.
Companies are to work both work racist. Also, find it very interesting that Weird and Baby Ghost both work to prop up marginalized voices within the gaming industry and refuse to work with white people in general. Yet, unironically, these companies are controlled and created by two white people themselves. It's like the ultimate white savior complex of a company come to life. It's truly incredible how much these people hate something that they can't change about themselves. Imagine referring to yourself as a white settler, dude.
All right. So this guy, he I think he stuck his foot in his mouth. Because listen to this part. Listen.
And refuse to work with white people in general.
Okay, so he just claimed that they refuse to work with white people in general.
Yet, unironically, these companies are controlled and...
But there's white people working at the company. So one of those things is not true.
I think what he means, though, is they're refusing to work with people outside. Like they only will work with marginalized people outside of, like, in terms of their grants and whatnot, when they're white people themselves. I think that's what he's getting at. Yeah.
They themselves are white and run the money, and then they're only going to give the money out to black people or people of color,
black or anyone. Yeah, exactly.
Gay,
and
trans.
I think he's equating that to the white savior complex, right? Which is, he probably has a point there. It's a little bit weird.
I'm still chewing on that one. I'm still chewing on it. Nope. Let me listen to it one more time. Let me listen to it.
Yeah.
Apologies to anyone in the chat that's already figured it out, and I'm too dumb to figure it out.
Roll back again.
Yeah, one more time, DJ. One more time.
These in protest. They're likely also the same kinds of people who would get mugged in broad daylight and refuse to give a description of the person in fear of being racist. Also, find it very interesting that Weird and Baby Ghost both work to prop up marginalized voices within the gaming industry and refuse to work with white people in general. Yet, unironically, these companies are controlled and created by two white people themselves. It's like the ultimate white savior complex of a company come to life. It's
okay. I don't know what the white savior complex is. Maybe that's why I don't understand the statement in and of itself. But yes, I can see.
You can always Google it.
How it's ironic. Oh my lord. Well, I guess we have to do it. We have to do it. White savior complex. You share the screen because I'm not trying to read and then have you all doubt me.
I think the first sentence says it all as to why. Like, I get his point here. It's kind of bizarre.
Okay. People with a white savior complex act from a position of superiority in an attempt to help BIPOC communities. In actuality, white saviorism generally ends up doing more harm than good. White saviorism fails. Damn it. Okay, it fails to address systemic issues that BIPOC people face. You can prevent white saviorism by listening to. All right, so I clicked on the link and the hell, I'm not about to listen to a 1 hour seminar about white saviorism. All right, so if I'm understanding this right, white saviorism is when a white person decides that the people of color don't have the ability to save themselves, and by not giving them space to save themselves, they're communicating that they don't believe that the people of color can handle life, I guess. Am I getting that right? Or do I need to take a fucking seminar for this?
I don't think you need a seminar, but that's pretty close, I think. It's a little bizarre that they're both white, like the founders of the company, and then
That
they're
what?
only going to dole out money to people that aren't white. That's his
Mental?
point. Yes.
You were muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were muted.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Oh, was I muted before? I didn't
Yeah,
change
you were
anything,
muted.
but
You were muted.
Yeah, you were
oh,
muted
okay.
for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't
It's
actually
like someone
change
came to
anything, but
get you.
okay. Yeah, people don't, or someone doesn't want me to speak, I guess. But anyway, I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear from what I said, but
Nothing. You're just gonna have to re-say it again.
oh, okay. I think generally speaking, the point that he's making is it's just they're acting from a position of being like a white savior, and I get what he's saying there. By only offering money to marginalized groups, given that they are white and they control all the money, I get his point. It's a little bit strange in that respect. And they're probably sending the wrong message in many ways by doing that.
Okay.
I get where he's coming from.
Batman talks about moral to poor criminals with no money. The dude is a billionaire. Hold on a minute. You need money to be a moral person. Is that what you're trying to sell me, Richie? So if I'm broke, I can do whatever. It's fine. I'm not feeling that one, bro. Not at all. Anyways, let's go back to the video.
It's truly incredible how much these people hate something that they can't change about themselves. Imagine referring to yourself as a white settler, dude. Holy crap, you can't make this stuff up. It's because of people like this that we're in this mess to begin with, but I don't know if you caught what was said there, so let's circle back for a second. What was the name of that second founder? Eileen Holoka. Huh, Holoka. Where have we heard that name before? Also, Eileen is in control of another company called Infinite Ammo. What the hell is that? Well, if you go look that up, it turns out Infinite Ammo was started by a man named Alec Holoka. And if you look deeper, you then realize that the man who started Infinite Ammo is actually the same Alec Holoka who ended their life after Zoe Quinn accused them of abuse without any proof. The same Alec Holoka who ended himself after websites like Polygon and others blasted and ruined his reputation and name because of the whole believe all women narrative. And then, once he died, his company, Infinite Ammo, was absorbed by his sister Eileen, and using all of these connections, was able to create weird and baby ghosts. So the man who died because of the baseless accusations of Zoe Quinn, who is pretty much the progenitor of Gamergate, is having his legacy used to fund and create startup companies that politically and commercially erase people like him from the industry, all in the name of virtue signaling. This is some Jack Reacher level connections we're talking here. I feel like I'm going to be sniped through my window by a they them assassin just for talking about this stuff. But
all right, settle down. All right, settle down. No one's coming to kill you. All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
Let's
was
get
funny
dramatic.
Oh,
What?
It was very dramatic.
yeah.
Do you guys
he's
remember
got a
the
little bit
whole thing about the
overboard.
guy that got? Do you guys remember the whole thing about the dude that killed himself? Because that specifically, I remember.
Yeah, vaguely. I do remember it, but vaguely.
Ooh. Oh my!
I've heard about it enough
anyone,
recently, though, that anyway, it's a little bit
like
bizarre.
I will talk about Sweet Baby and all this other stuff, but actual people dying, that's when it gets into like sensitive territory for me. Yeah. Listen, I know people that have been falsely accused of the sexual misdeeds, and I know of people that actually did do the misdeeds. So this is a very sensitive topic, man. Like I'm not even sure how to address it without pissing people off, but I think there should be a price to be paid either way. If someone commits the deed and is found guilty, I think they should pay the price. But if someone is found innocent after having been accused, especially in today's climate where no one ever remembers the retraction, no one cares about someone being being exonerated. No one really cares. The only part that people care about is the accusation and the trending of said accusation. So I think it's only fair that if someone accuses someone else of doing the deed and then it's proven, and then it's proven that the accusation is baseless, I think the accuser should face some consequences. I'm not saying this because you, Mental, or Drawn TJ have to reply to it. If you guys just want to leave it empty like that, I won't judge you, because this is one of those types of subjects. Because you guys live on the continent with less freedom on the planet. I'm actually more free to speak than both of you, which is kind of ironic. But for me, I just feel like justice should be felt both ways. And what happened to the Holoka dude, in my opinion, there was no proof. His world just fell apart, and no one gave a shit. Even his own sister doesn't seem to have given two craps. I'm not sure. Maybe she did, but I saw nothing from her side. So, yeah, horrible situation.
There it is, fellas, right in front of you. The progenitors of Sweet Baby and the transformation of the video games industry is intrinsically tied directly to the very same man whose death was caused by Gamergate itself. Then Sile, who also does YouTube, ended up posting some screenshots on Twitter, so let's go look at those now. And if you look here, well,
oh my God.
Look who it is. It's Chris Kendrick who said, "So glad to be a part of this cohort. That's right, the narrative designer at Sweet Baby is tied to Weird Ghost as well. And oh look, it's even the same baby ghost icon there in the same infographic where Weird Ghost celebrates the 7 studios they helped launch. And one of them is there as plain as day, Sweet Baby Inc. Then Weird Ghost was found saying in public that their mission is to remake the industry. And there's another image where Infinite Ammo, which is to Baby Inc. Then Weird Ghost.
All right, I want to address this screenshot specifically. We must remake this industry. I have nothing against that. I do. I think that people should always be allowed the space to bring whatever ideas they have for whatever industry it is. And if their ideas have merit, those ideas will propagate and they will live on forever. But if your ideas are shit, everyone else
if they
has
can't
the
stand
right
on their own merit
to reject. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If it's good storytelling and the quality is there, it'll be fine.
Not even that, dude. Like, even if the storytelling is horrible, for me, you, Drawn TJ, and the majority of the hardcore gamers, we make up less than 30%. Right?
Yeah,
We don't
that's
really
true.
matter in the grand scope of things. If Suicide Squad had actually appealed to the normies, as we call them, and there was more than 1,000 people, Jesus, these guys they can't break 500 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they had people playing and buying their games. That is evidence that whatever it is that you're presenting has merit and should survive. The results are in. You're going to have a hard time remaking the industry. Weird ghosts. That's all I have to say. Let's carry on.
Well, at least with the quality they're
Ghost was
producing right
found
now.
Yes. There's going to have to be a big pivot. But
Yeah.
also something I wanted to quickly discuss with you guys. My son the other day, you know those apps on your phone where they open the camera and then it puts weird stuff on your face, or puts like a mask on your face, or puts horns or whatever.
The
My
filters?
son, yeah, the filters. My son used that to put the Miles Morales Spider-Man mask on my face. And he is super excited about Miles Morales. To that point, these guys at Sweet Baby and BlackRock and Soros and all these other guys, these guys, if Xbox was as determined as these motherfuckers, Xbox would dominate gaming. With the moment that I had with my son, it was like a light bulb came on in my head. I was like, oh, okay. So the idea is not to capture me. The idea is to capture all of the young minds, the ones that are open and susceptible, the ones that haven't made up their decision on what is right or wrong. And it seems to me, well, I guess we'll see in the next few years if the gaming industry drops all of the Sweet Baby stuff. But it seems to me like these guys are willing to ride it out. It seems to me like they're willing to just keep bashing us over our head with these games, knowing that we are going to reject it, but they don't care because we don't make up the majority. We could get 1,000 views, we get 10,000, we get 100,000 views, but we don't control the majority of gamers, which is what they care about. The majority of gamers don't really pay attention to, oh, this agenda pushing for this game specifically was very on the nose, and I didn't like that. They won't pay attention to that. They'll just play what's in front of them.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Saying in public that their mission.
Anything else you guys want to add on that, or you can keep going?
No, let's just keep listening and see what else he says.
All right.
Is to remake the industry. And there's another image where Infinite Ammo, which is again created by the now deceased Alec Holoka, is the minority investor in startups like Weird and Baby Ghost, which is now, as you know, the reason why Sweet Baby Inc. exists to begin with. So they're not only politically aligned, they are quite literally, down to their DNA, the same thing. Sweet Baby Inc., Weird Ghost, Baby Ghost, Infinite Ammo, Gamergate, Alec Holoka, Eileen Holoka, Zoe Quinn, all of it. It's all done and made by the same group of people. Are you convinced yet that video games as a medium have been infiltrated by activists?
This guy. I want to agree with him. It's been infiltrated by activists. It's been infiltrated by everyone. It's the biggest entertainment medium on the planet. Of course, there's going to be diverse views and diverse people. You're going to have people making a Christian game. You're going to have people doing whatever it is the Sweet Baby is doing. I'm okay with these people being inside gaming. What about you guys?
I've said it a few times, right? They have a right to exist and to have their own views and to work with gaming companies and to be there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, there's no way to explain it. I mean, like they're entitled to their opinion at the end of the day. It's like how you said, you know, you got more freedom than us in terms of speech. And in some parts, yes, you do, because you don't have you don't have a government trying to say, oh, you have to be left or right, or you have to be this or that. You don't
Nope.
have pronouns like being shoved down your throat like we do here in America, where it's a common basic thing now, and it used to not be. So it's kind of annoying, the fact that it's like that. But at the end of
Like,
the day, they can speak their mind. I just think they put their foot in their mouth when they did what they did in terms of the Steam support group that
Curator page.
that curated that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's where I was saying earlier, they kind of did it to themselves, right? If they would have
Yeah.
left it alone and not started tweeting about it, I probably never would have heard about it.
Oh hell
To
no!
be
I didn't even
perfectly
know
honest.
they freaking existed until now.
Yeah.
I
Like the
it's
Steam
like-
group, I
they
mean.
existed.
Well,
Oh
no,
yeah,
the Steam group, I mean.
I've
yeah.
never heard
Yeah.
of
But
them
we
in my
knew
life.
who Sweet Baby was. Actually, mental, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, we did dance around the topic of Sweet Baby for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't poke it.
No.
We didn't poke at it.
No, I mean it's just so big in everything on YouTube right now, right? Like it seems like there's a lot of creators that are doing fairly well with their videos about it, right? I found this video quite interesting just because of how deep it kind of goes into the rabbit hole and the links all the way back to Gamergate. I wasn't aware of any of that.
Yeah. I'm a bit uncomfortable watching it, but okay.
Yeah, no, I feel ya. I feel that as well.
It's a little bit unsettling, yeah.
Or do you need more proof? Well, let's go to the Game Developers Conference, where Kim Belair, the founder of Sweet Baby, who, might I add, fits the bill to a T in terms of what Weird Ghost looks for in someone they invest in, was talking on stage about how her vision for her company works to change the game industry, as Weird Ghost puts it. So, this clip is from her GDC talk a few years ago, around the time when Sweet Baby was first founded. It's a little bit of a longer clip, however, it's worth watching for context, so let's sit down, get comfortable, and peer into what Sweet Baby aims to do, shall we?
And so I want to put on that like very mercenary.
Jeez, this guy, he went and oh my lord. Okay. Referencing the passage of the Bible as a crime in Canadian school. What? Is that for real?
Yeah.
Rachel,
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to do that.
Someone send me the link. Please. I beg you.
Yeah, when
Okay.
I'm an old guy, right? When I was a kid, one of the first things that happened, up through grade 7 was they would read a bit of the Bible every morning in school. That's how we started our day. I never thought anything of it as a kid. It was just a story to me, but that ended at that point. So it's quite a long time ago that they pulled that out. And you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hat for a second and talk about the way that we decide how we're going to sell the art that we make and how we're going to approach the audiences that we make it for. Because I think so often when people like us get told, from higher ups or from society at large, this isn't what players want, it's not a conversation about content. It's a conversation about demographics.
Ooh.
And I think that in our industry and in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change and something that is locked in place. So despite like the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero, male.
No. Okay, first off, I just want to say real quick, Kim Belair is a beautiful woman. I find it weird that no one's brought that up before. Unless you guys disagree with me.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, she's good looking.
I'm just saying. It's one of those little things that happens that when you disagree with someone, you don't want to pay them any compliment. You know what I mean? Like I
No,
disagree
I
with her
get it.
strongly, but Mama got it going on. Anyways, this thing about the demographics,
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So where I disagree with her on this one is the reason you have so many people interested in video games is because of what it was. You get me? So people like drinking your water or your Monster Energy. They like drinking Monster Energy drinks.
Yeah.
Your marketing team tells you that since the 90s, we've been selling Monster Energy drinks to straight white men. And they now have proof that you have other ethnicities and demographics that are consuming Monster Energy. My question is, what are we losing by continuing to make the thing that's making everyone come here? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not against change, but it feels like it doesn't make sense. People are watching the NFL in the UK now. Why would the NFL now say we need to switch up how we need to switch up the rules of the NFL to get more people to watch in the UK? It's like, bro, they're already watching and we are profitable with the people that are currently engaging. So I think the real issue here is I think it's mobile gaming and microtransactions and this continued expansion that's needed in gaming, because the companies are trying to achieve more profits and they're trying to get more people and more people and more people, when it's like we can make billions with the core demographic we have. Why would we throw them away for this fictitious or this modern audience that we think is out there? We already have a captive audience. Why not play to them? I feel like I went on a bit of a rant there.
No, you didn't go on a rant.
Yeah.
It seems
All right.
weird to want to exclude your core audience if that's what it is, a core audience.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
I don't
like.
necessarily, yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's as core as she thinks it is. Maybe, I don't know. I think there's a lot more diversity in the audience than it just being, you know, what did she say? Like white males, cis white males, or whatever.
Hmm.
I think that's a fallacy.
Yeah.
I'm taking a
But
screen
anyway,
grab of Kim Belair right now, putting it on Twitter. This woman is beautiful. Why has no one mentioned this? I don't understand. You know what? I should probably hand in my CV to Sweet Baby Inc. I could do a job for Sweet Baby. That's all I'm saying. Timmy, welcome in, Timmy. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming through. All right, let's listen to her voice. She also has a very nice voice. This is not me turning into a Sweet Baby shill, everyone. I'm just saying she's a beautiful woman and she has a very nice voice. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to restart the video. Oh, shit.
And in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change and something that is locked in place. So despite like the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, males, and we cater almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, here's something that we think you'll enjoy.
Wait, okay, do you guys think that gaming caters exclusively to straight white men?
No, not really.
I don't.
No.
I might be missing
Okay.
something though. As a straight white man, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't
You might
think
be
it does.
biased. Man, let
Yeah,
me tell you something.
you know,
I
what do you
thought
think?
gaming was
I
just
don't think so,
gaming.
but that's what
I
I thought.
I'll tell you, I thought gaming was just gaming until people told me gaming was racist. I thought Mr. Popo was just another shade of black in Dragon Ball Z until people told me that his depiction was racist. Because if you remember that in Dragon Ball, there was also other shades of black or brown in different characters. So as far as this whole gaming is targeted specifically to straight white men, I don't see it. I only started seeing it when you guys told me that it was for straight white men. At no point when I was playing video games was I like, oh, why why I don't know why am I not seeing more male protagonists? That wasn't my focus. And when I saw Carl Johnson in GTA, I I'm just being 100% honest. I didn't get emotional. I did not drop a tear like, oh my god, we have a black protagonist in Gran Turismo. Oh my goodness. I was just like, oh, okay, they made a GTA game with a black gangster as the protagonist, and I kept it pushing
Yeah.
because for me, it like gaming is an escape, right? If you have this type of mentality, that means that I can't play Metal Gear, my favorite series. I can't play it. When I play Tekken, I can't play as Kazuya, a Japanese man, because I'm not Japanese. So I can't identify with the Japanese character. I'm now limited to I have to play with Eddie, I have to play with Marduk, I have to play with Raven. I have to only play with black characters in Tekken. That doesn't sound very welcoming to me. Richie, thank you so much
Exactly.
for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Says Nam from Dragon Ball series was very cool. Exactly. Nam was very cool. For anyone that doesn't know who Nam was, let me quickly picture from Google. Go. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Almost there. Where is Nam? All right, there it is. So here's Nam. Long-time character from DBZ. Oh, there's another thing I would have to miss out on. I can't watch DBZ. The protagonist is not black. Does anyone understand how crazy this is? No Harry Potter, because I'm not white, I'm not a child, and I'm not a British.
True.
It, it,
Yeah. It's
it's
weird
like,
that people think, oh, you can't watch it because it has a black person in it or has a white person in it. I'm getting really tired of media. I'm getting tired of these woke people that are coming in and saying, "Oh, this is my pronoun." It's like, okay, keep it to yourself. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, do you and
that's
just keep
toxic,
it to
bro.
yourself. Simple as that.
That is
Just keep
toxic.
it to yourself.
That
I
Oh,
won't
someone
tell you
cancel
my
this guy.
politics as long as you don't tell me about yours. Simple as that. We can be acquaintances and say hi, but at the end of the day, just keep it going. Just shut up and keep it going. But the problem is,
Yeah.
like, it was funny what she said. Oh, cis straight white male. It's like you said three different terms. What the hell are you trying to say? It's like, you know what? If someone wasn't introduced to technology, they would think you're crazy. But all of us have been susceptible to this, so we already know what it is. some people will accept it. Some people are like, it's kind of annoying, and that's where I'm with it. I think it's annoying. It's like, dude, I'm not a cis white male. I'm a white male. At the end of the day, who cares? If you don't like it, it pisses you off, then you were born in the wrong era, obviously, because you don't have thick skin. I'm sorry, but you don't. If you're gonna let people hurt your feelings over an opinion, so it's just really sad. I get tired of people doing this stuff, and it's like, I get it. You have an agenda, but don't be cramming it down our throats.
Again, I have to disagree with you, dude. Everyone, since the beginning of time, has always had an agenda. The problem is not with the agenda. The problem is you don't know how to package your agenda. That's not the problem. Is not the agenda, bro. There's been terrible, horrible agendas that have hurt many people throughout history. I won't name them. You know more or less which ones I'm talking about. But the people
you don't have to name them.
that were parroting, the people that were parroting these agendas knew how to package them. We shouldn't be criticized. Well, me personally, I don't care that these guys are bringing in these stories. My problem is they're so bad at telling these stories, and I'm different from him in that I'm not very multiplayer focused. Like, I love single player games. I love me a good story. That's why I'm miffed that I can't play Final Fantasy Racist, right? Because I love good stories, and that one looks like it's got an awesome story. I like QTEs and all this other stuff. So I'm upset that I can't play it. But the problem, from my perspective, is that they don't know how to craft engaging stories, engaging characters. That's my problem with these guys. The Oscars, dude, fuck the Oscars.
Oh, that's been fake from the start.
No, dude, no. Unless Will Smith.
That's just like it's like a woman that's a drama queen. It's for everybody to watch and think that something's gonna happen, and they think that their votes are gonna matter, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's rigged.
I'll watch the Oscars if someone can guarantee me Will Smith gets on stage and makes a fool of himself
Get your
again.
wife's name out of your mouth.
Pretty much. Yo B, welcome in, legendary Yo. Peace, love, life. He says it's one word. Don't be giving it spaces. Peace, love, life. Cheers, Yobi. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Appreciate it. But let's carry on with this video. I put out a tweet essentially simping on Kim Belair. I think I'm gonna lose like 10 followers, but I don't give a fuck. I think she's hot, and that voice does something for me. I'm just saying. Anyway, here we go.
We cater them the way that we cater to like a picky baby. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go. You love it. Eat this. Eat.
Yes. She's saying it like it's a bad thing. She's saying it like it's a bad thing. What? I'm lost here. Someone help me. Someone please help me.
All I know is she just called me a picky baby. That's all I know.
That's fine. Oh, come on. You have a problem with that.
No. And you know what? I don't care. That's it. Like, I don't think I am, but
yeah.
Dude, in this context, in every consumer context, actually, every consumer is a picky baby. When I buy a Monster Energy drink, again, I'm mentioning Monster Energy. It's not because we're sponsored by them, but if anyone knows Monster Energy, tell them, get in touch. If I buy Monster Energy and it tastes off, or I fall asleep during one of my Friday streams instead of making it all the way to 5 a.m. as usual, I'm gonna have a problem. Do you understand? Because I pay my hard-earned money and I have expectations on
Yeah.
on what I spend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Makes sense.
Pixel, do you want me to shoot you a link, or you still hanging out with the family? No pressure. We can talk next week. What's this? Later that night, Luke will be beside the fireplace and sing Hellfire from the Hunchback of Notre Dame movie. I'm the Hunchback? Really? Okay. Whatever, though.
Eat this, eat this.
Again, what is this? Like, this woman would fail in Japan.
What is her point? What is she trying to prove? Because so far, she's
Well,
just
let-
running
let her
around in
run.
circles with her conversation.
All right, let's let her
Yeah,
finish. Let's let her finish.
This, so that then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which is be like, oh no, thank you, I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do, just in case these picky babies don't want to play our games.
The
I'm
funny
so glad
part
I'm on
about that.
camera today.
The
I'm
funny
sorry,
part
but
about
that's
that
just too
comment, though,
freaking
is
hilarious.
if the picky baby doesn't want to play your games, you go bankrupt.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of a weird, like, I don't know. The statement to me is a bit weird. You have to market to people that are your core, that are going to spend money on your product so that you can stay in business. Doesn't mean you can't change things along the way, but it means if you try and do a wholesale change and people don't like it, it could be the end of your business. It's a little bit of a weird perspective, I think. And maybe that's not what she's saying. Maybe she's not saying, you go all or nothing. I'm not sure. But it just kind of came across a bit weird to me. I don't know what you guys
my
think.
goodness. Yeah, again, I'm glad I'm not on video today, because this is terrible.
A lot of eye rolling, or
I was rubbing my temple furiously. I was trying to let it, because I'm looking at a pretty face. I'm listening to a sultry
You
voice.
lose
I'm like,
brain cells listening to her
please,
in a way. I
please
mean,
make
yeah,
sense.
she's beautiful, but
I'm like, please make sense. Please make
I
sense.
know, right? Oh my god.
Goodness. Yeah, so it makes no sense. Based off of this, they should have stopped making Dragon Ball a long time ago. Like, Goku should have been replaced as the protagonist for Dragon Ball a long time ago. Luffy, if she was in the leadership team, like narrative wise, right, for One Piece, Luffy probably wouldn't even have made it to Impel Down. Right? Like, at some point, Nami would have become, or Usopp, fucking Usopp would have become the leader of the Straw Hats in One Piece. If we follow this logic, you have a successful product, and then your big brain idea is to not continue to do what made you successful. Okay. All right. It's Steph Curry, right? Stop shooting threes. Shaq, after he went to the Lakers, stop dunking. Start shooting threes. It's
a little
counterintuitive, dude.
If
That's why I
they
was rubbing
stopped
my
playing
temple
good,
furious.
people would get pissed and revolt.
If they stop doing what?
If the basketball players like your Steph Curry or LeBron James or Kobe or whoever in history, if they just stopped playing good and they just turned into shit, Kind of
No,
like how football
stopped
players
leaning.
sometimes
No.
do.
It's not even about stop being good. Stop leaning into the thing that made them amazing. Like Tom Brady, for
Oh,
example,
I know. That's what
stopped.
I'm trying to say. Yeah.
If Tom Brady stopped throwing the ball and decided, I'm going to become Lamar Jackson, I'm going to start running. It's like, what?
I would laugh
you
so
get-
hard. I'd bet $50 on that because he runs like a potato. He runs slow.
The worst, he had the worst thing. What was it? The worst combine run of all time. Even his picture was terrible of his body. It was
Yep.
terrible. But he leaned into what he was good at. So you make video games, or the video game video game industry makes certain games and becomes the number one entertainment medium on the planet besides porn, obviously. And the big brain idea is, let's stop doing the things that put us in this position. Fucking what?
I think you don't want to mess with the franchises that you have that are successful and completely, turn them on their head. I think you want to continue doing the things that got you there, like you're saying, Loke, and then perhaps you can branch out with new IPs that move in a different direction. And if the IP's good, it'll stand. If it's bad, it won't. But I don't think you break something that isn't broken for the sake of wanting to move in a different direction. That's where I think this is kind of the backlash is coming from. A lot of beloved IPs are moving in directions that people don't necessarily agree with. Perhaps. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But that might be what's going on to some extent too,
boils
and why the
down to the
backlash is so big.
storytelling.
Exactly.
That goes back to the storytelling that I was speaking about. That it's not even about about the fact that your franchise is switching and becoming quote unquote woke. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, and that's not what I was getting at. It's
your
more like you're messing
execution.
with, your execution's off. You're messing with a formula that worked, and it's not working out in a lot of cases. Now with a new
They
IP
could have
like Suicide
transitioned.
Squad, I guess. Yeah,
Dude, they could have transitioned Miles to becoming the Spider-Man. They could have done it properly to where people would be excited. Dude,
yeah. I think that
pushing
like
Peter to the side.
yeah,
They
and the
should have
way
made
they
it like
changed the character.
Go ahead.
Well, they nerfed Peter, right? Like he was a shell of what he was in Spider-Man 2018.
Apologizing every 5 seconds. I'm glad I didn't play that game. I just saw like snippets and it was embarrassing. I was like, thank goodness I did not like continue. I just started like the first credits where Miles has got his like raspy little voice, so annoying. And then Peter jumps in and I was just like, ugh, I threw up in my mouth, like went straight to the dashboard, uninstalled Spider-Man 2 and moved on with my life. With the whole Spider-Man thing, like I'm not even in narrative, and just off the top of my head, I can come up with a better story than what they did. All you needed to do, because Peter would never, for anyone that's read the comic books, watched the movies, played the games before Insomniac, Peter would never just hang up his suit for the sake of, I'm not feeling it. I'd rather just do other things. That's not who Peter is, because of the whole responsibility thing. It's like you guys didn't even listen to the meme. With great power comes great responsibility. You guys didn't even listen to the freaking meme, right? All they had to do is give Peter a proper send-off in Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2 should have been them teaming up together to take on an insurmountable foe in Venom or whatever, right? So you need 2 Spider-Man. Sure. Spider-Man 3, that's where you bring in an insanely big enemy, right? Like Avengers level enemy, Galactus or something. And then in Spider-Man 3, Peter freaking dies, sacrifices his life to save everyone. he dies. Miles
Sure.
now has the responsibility to carry on the mantle as Spider-Man. I'm freaking spitballing. I didn't have to sit in a meeting. I haven't been paid by anyone. I haven't been reading Spider. This is not even my job, dude. But in the last 30 seconds or 45 seconds, I just laid out a better premise than freaking Insomniac. How
Yeah,
pathetic is
that's
that? I'm not even a Spider-Man
and,
fan.
and you're
I'm
not
not
even a
even a
game
Spider-Man fan.
developer. That's the crazy part.
Well, and that's
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 crazy.
embarrassing.
Anyway.
That's not good when you can grab a random person that literally just that does podcasting and does
So
journalism like you, for instance, and you can create a better story in a matter of like you can just pull it out your ass and it's better than what
Bro,
Insomniac writes. I
so
mean that's pretty sad at the end of the day.
I'm embarrassed right now. But let's
No,
go
you
back to the
shouldn't be
video.
embarrassed. That means you can write better than their stupid staff writers at the end of the day. I mean, isn't Spider-Man
well,
supposed to
I
be a
think
badass superhero, not a wimpy kid that says sorry all the time? I'm sorry, but that's what he says all the time. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. God, how many times have we seen in the movies where they got Tom Holland saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I swear to God, he must say that at least 50 times in a damn movie. It's so
you haven't
annoying.
played
I
Spider-Man 2, I take it.
No, because I
apparently the
don't
game's
play
worse.
PlayStation because PlayStation's garbage in my opinion.
Okay, settle down.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
just don't
All
like
right.
their. I don't
Dude,
like their.
let me reel you.
their
Let me
ideas.
reel you right. Let me reel you back in. All right. Welcome back to reality. All right. Talk about jumping the shark. Okay. Settle down. Look, please become Xbox CEO. No.
I don't think Loke wants
Uh,
that responsibility. That would give him too much of a headache. And do you want him to age really old, or do you want him to age like normally, like he's supposed to?
no,
I
it's
don't think he
easy.
wants
If
that.
if if I was the Xbox CEO, I think it would be an easy job for me because I'll probably lose my job in like 6 weeks. But
Yeah,
what I would do
because
is,
you're probably a gamer at the end of the day, and they're all
yeah,
about money.
yeah,
So at the
they
end of
would
the
get my
day,
ass out of there so
yeah.
quick. Like the first thing I would do is repeal every idea of multi-platform. Get that shit out of here. All of it, including PC. Done with it. No more
No,
multi-platform.
hold it right there.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
what I'm
I
doing.
disagree.
Yeah, yeah,
PC's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, PC's good.
PC,
Leave
PC
PC
would get the
alone.
same treatment. Nope. PC would get the same treatment that PlayStation gave like Ghost of Tsushima. Like the Xbox exclusives would come out, and then 5 years later, that's the window. 5 years later, put it on PC. No
There'd
problem.
be no point though. He wouldn't sell anything.
Again, this is why I would get fired by Xbox. By the time I was done,
Yeah.
if someone was crazy enough to leave me as the CEO of Xbox, by the time I'm like 60 and retired, freaking Nintendo would be scared of Xbox.
Well, you'd be
But
fired faster than Don Matrick got kicked out.
probably.
I mean, you're
What's
just
this?
you're just not like him, where he says, "Oh, if you want to play old games, buy an older console."
Hmm. Yobi's defending your trash take. Says that it's
Yeah.
your reality. If you
Look,
feel that
I'll
PlayStation
say
is
this
trash,
about
you're
PlayStation.
100%.
PlayStation makes great games. I will never talk shit about their games. I just hate Sony in general.
What's your problem with Sony?
Let's see. How bad do they stiff their players? Let's see. Let's charge $10 extra a month for access to your cloud saves. What else? Oh yeah, you got a subscription service you got to pay for to have those saves to play online, and it's garbage because there's old games but no new games. You could literally drop them day one in, but you choose not to. Then you put a third party game in there day one, but you don't even put MLB The Show in there, but it's in your competitors' subscription day one. I'm sorry, but it's just bad practices. I look at it, I'm like, how can you not see the writing on the wall? If you guys want to make more money, should have started PC day one and day and date day one. And they should have also started putting in their subscription. Yeah, sure. You don't make enough games fast enough to supply it like Xbox does. That's fine, but you would just have to pivot a tiny bit because as a company, you're going to die. You're either going to be either an app or you're just going to become Sega, where you'll keep the PS5 Pro, but you'll just keep updating it with quality of life updates like, super resolution and stuff like that. But you'll just end up being a software company at the end of the day because you can't keep up with the demand if you don't change and adapt. And I trust me, I don't want Sony to go out of the gaming business as a console manufacturer. If they do that, we got a lopsided industry at that point then. Like, I like Xbox at the end of the day, but
we already have
I
a
don't want them to
lopsided
be
industry.
complacent and go stale either. So we need the competition at the end of the day, but they need to pivot and change. Otherwise, it's not looking too good right now for Sony. It's really not. Either they need someone to partner with or someone to buy them. Yeah.
It's looking better than whatever's going on with Xbox.
Not really. Not even close.
Yes.
No.
Really, actually.
Okay, let me ask you, how many first-party exclusives day one that are from their studios that are coming out this year?
It doesn't matter.
None.
The sales.
None.
No, hold on. Settle down, dude. Don't ask a question and then let me finish.
You could say sales
the first party serves to it serves as the sweet. Since talking about Sweet Baby, it serves as the honey, right? But the actual meal that Sony is devouring right now is third party. The fact that people go to Sony and then purchase the majority of third party games on PlayStation, that's where their money's at. This thing about looking at, the first party games aren't selling, therefore the console is shit. That's not it. It doesn't reflect reality because Sony is still getting their cut for every Assassin's Creed game, for every Madden game, for every Call of Duty game, etc., etc., etc. And I'm not even talking about third-party exclusives. I'm talking about just third-party in general. Because Nintendo doesn't compete to them. I'm a video game fan. I'm not a PlayStation.
Okay.
The whole PlayStation thing is me and him just.
Let me ask you a simple question. What is the reason why people as a gamer buys a PlayStation? They say the exclusives, right? Then why aren't your exclusives selling then? Because
dude,
at the end of the day, Minecraft, Fortnite, GTA, COD, all destroy their first party games.
You're not paying attention. You're not paying attention.
I'm paying attention to the numbers.
I did mention before that me, you, Mental, and everyone in the chat here, we make up 30%. And I'm being generous when I say that.
I know.
I'm being very generous when I say that. It's less than 30. We make up 30%. The people that buy PlayStations, they're not buying for the reasons that you think they're buying. They're not buying for the exclusives. They're buying because PlayStation has such a bomb-ass marketing team that everyone is just sure that if you want the best, if you want the best in whatever, in gaming in general, if you want the best, get a PlayStation. That's all everyone knows. You want to talk about why people make these decisions and all this other rubbish, we can get into that discussion. But right now, I'm just talking about objective facts. And objective fact is that PlayStation is doing just fine.
I think they'll be okay as long as they start putting more stuff day and date on PC and they start getting more revenue.
Oh my God! Stop it with the PC. Let's go back to Kim Belair.
They need the money. They do. I mean, it's sad that the new CEO, the temporarily CEO came in and said, "Look, you're amazing studios and you make beautiful games that are amazing, but you don't know how to run a business. You aren't making enough money." That's really bad when you got a CEO coming in and saying you're not making money. or you're making money, but it's going out as fast as it's coming in. That's bad business at the end of the day. And you know what? I do feel bad for the studios that had layoffs. It's really sad when that has to happen. But like I said, everybody demands too much. They say, "Oh, we want these 4K graphics. We want this. We want that." I mean, $300 million budget for Spider-Man 2? Damn.
That's because of the IP.
That's a lot, man, for a game that came out buggy and you were a sugar cube flying around in the city. That's not good.
Again, Drawn TJ.
Only a 20-hour experience. That shouldn't be a $300 million
they don't
budget.
even need. Technically, they don't even need to make a profit off of Spider-Man. What they need is to spend, for example, 300 on Spider-Man and make 300, because
but then they got to pay
Spider-Man
back
is attracting
Marvel at the end of the day, because you can't just make all that back for yourself. At the end of the day, you got to pay back Marvel because you're using their license.
But dude,
at the end of the day.
How many people get sucked into the Sony ecosystem just because of stuff like Spider-Man, God of War, whatever, just for that specific game? But then they're like,
but
well,
only 20
I'm
million
here,
buy it out of
so
how
I
many?
might as
150 million consoles? It's really sad, dude.
Drawn TJ, you do not count as just the purchase of Halo on Xbox.
I know that.
You count as the purchase of all the other games that you purchase. So by Sony investing in all these third-party games or whatever, they're not just investing to make money off of Spider-Man. They're investing to make sure people are hamstrung from leaving the PlayStation ecosystem. So the math that we're doing right now is very reductive. It's very small picture. We're not looking at the whole thing. But let's go back to Kimberly.
It's
She's
the
star of
casuals
today's
at the
show.
end of the day that make both consoles at the end of the day.
Okay, look at you coming back to reality. Okay. Here we go.
I'm just saying, as a fan, as a hardcore fan person that likes the brand or whatever, it's just it's not selling. It's not selling enough. I can put this as an argument, and you'll enjoy this. Halo doesn't even make enough as a hardcore fan base. Not even that, because Bonnie Ross shit the bed, but at the end of the day, like,
you're criticizing a woman.
Yeah.
This guy.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the casuals. The casuals sell the box. See, Sony had a head start like they came out in 1995 when they came out the PlayStation 1, right? Or 1991. They came out way before Xbox did. So they already had a jump start already. But yeah, I agree with you. Microsoft has shitty, and I mean shitty, freaking marketing right now. And they need to change that immediately.
Yeah. I mean, if we had more marketing, if I decided to put money into marketing TSWS and put like ad rolls and all types of stuff, we suddenly would have 1,000 people watching.
Oh, you'd be doing better than that. You'd be.
I think it's embarrassing.
And all them. Yeah.
Well, I think it's embarrassing that the biggest company on the planet cannot figure out something that me, you, and Mental are well aware of.
Yeah.
I think that's
I know. It's sad because I think like the best time I remember them actually doing marketing, and it was actually good. It wasn't great, but it was good. Was Xbox Original. Back in the Xbox Original days, they actually had real advertisements and stuff. Now I don't see that. I don't see it at all. Not even in the United States. I don't even see it on live TV. You had the Super Bowl. You have the FIFA World Cup. You don't put anything on that? Are you freaking kidding me? That is a big damn miss.
PlayStation dominates the UEFA Champions League. You guys are probably not aware of what the UEFA Champions League is, but it's the biggest club football tournament on the planet.
Yeah.
And what people see is the UEFA Champions League. Right next to it is PlayStation. So me and you are aware that FIFA is even on the Switch. It's everywhere. But the normie that watches football and doesn't even have time for research or even interest for research wants to buy a platform where he can play as his favorite club, whether it's Manchester United or Bayern Munich or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think he's going to purchase?
He's going to buy the one that's he's seen on TV. Usually they're your kids or your friends or someone will tell you at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think the same way it's embarrassing that I can come up with a better.
Yeah.
The same way that I can come up with a better premise for Spider-Man 2 and 3. The same way that's terrible, right? Yeah, I think it's horrible that the richest company on the planet cannot get their shit together to put on freaking ads.
Well, do you think because they're so damn big, they've just gotten complacent with advertising, or do you think that they just don't care about like cable TV because people now use majority use apps instead. They don't use actual cable TV anymore. Like, what do you think, Loke?
TJ, same thing. It always goes to the same thing, regardless of where it is that they're not doing the marketing. The fact is they are not doing said marketing. That's the problem.
Oh, I know, it pisses me off. It's like, dude, you guys, you know what? You're saying you're not doing it good enough because you're only at 30 million subscribers, but realistically, here's a perfect example. When I look at Game Pass, they sit there and this is how they run it as an advertisement. They say over 100 games. Don't say that. What you need to say is over however many. Let's say there's 700 in it, okay? You say there's over 700 and you can play this on any device, PC, tablet, phone, Xbox, and then you sit there and you say you can get it with COD and Halo and Forza, and then you say that's included with your console when you buy an Xbox Series X or S. They need to start doing stuff like that, but till then, they're just gonna keep shit in the bed. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very irritating as a fan of Xbox, and yes, I will criticize Xbox when they screw up, but man, I just don't understand how you can do that. Like,
yeah,
I just pitched you a great idea that's 40 seconds long, 40-second advertisement, easy. It's so
Are they going to do it? Probably not. Richie says
no, they probably won't, man. The thing is that they're a $3 trillion company. At the end of the day, they just see passive income coming in, and now you know what? I think it's going to be more of a problem. We're gonna wait and see if they actually market COD, and if anything, they'll be Activision doing that, not Microsoft. But we're gonna have to see, because you gotta remember they just surpassed Windows. Xbox surpassed Windows in revenue. I wonder if they're gonna push advertisements more, or if it's just gonna sit there and they're just gonna take the check. They're just gonna keep taking the money as it comes in, because it's passive income, because it's easy.
Well, past performance,
we'll find out.
Future results. So if you're going to put money on it, they're probably not going to do anything. But let's carry on with the magnificent Kim Belair.
And we've made a lot of progress. Obviously, I don't say this to completely go just give up. We've screwed it. So I want to do better than this, because, and I don't say that to be oh, you know what, I'm going to dismiss all the hate and the abuse in our communities. But I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here, I think that when we look at you,
that sounded a bit condescending.
I like how
am I being too sensitive?
Guys. That's you know what?
Too sensitive, yeah.
Look, I'm gonna flip the script a little bit. If I were to go on that stage and say, and everybody don't freak out, but let's say I was like her and I turned around and said, "Hey, you black guys," everybody would say I'm a racist immediately.
What?
Even what I'm suggesting right now sounds racist as hell.
You would
So-
lose your job and you'd be
I know
divorced by the
exactly.
time you got down the
it's okay
steps.
for her to say
motherfucker.
you white people. Just say you people in general. Don't. Oh my God.
One more
This
time.
is what's wrong
One more
with my
time for the crowd in
generation
the
and
back.
the younger generation of my generation, because they're getting more stupid. They're getting more. You know what? People want to get rid of racism, but perfect example. She's one of them right there. She's not helping the cause. Definitely not.
You know what's really pissing me off is that we haven't even gotten to the
Jeez.
articles. We haven't even got to the articles. Mental, you wanted to say something?
Damn.
No, I'm good. I'm good right
All
now.
right.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to dismiss all the hate and the abuse in our communities. But I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here, I think that when we look at you, we say, okay, you can't possibly enjoy this. But I think they want also, and maybe you want also, to experience new and different stories. I think we need to step out of this rule that like white men can enjoy fantasy worlds, aliens, sci-fi, monsters, anything, so long as it's through a lens that looks exactly like them. Because if that
Bitch, are you high?
See, to me, what she just said is a bit insane.
Oh my God, she makes me laugh. This is good comedy. How has she not been fired yet for what she's been saying?
She owns the company. She owns the company.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, if she was an employee, she would have been freaking fired. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you make fun of me because I'm white, but at the end of the day, some other person
Wait,
that's
you're
got
white?
not thick skin.
I'm about to kick you off the podcast. Get the fuck out of here. Let me kick TJ. What? He's white.
No, but
the whole time I thought you were black.
no.
Oh man.
Yeah, no. It's just annoying the fact that it's really funny to me how she phrases it too. It's like how can you put your foot in your mouth and just keep on going deeper and deeper with it just by sitting there saying you white people, you white people, you white people. I swear to God, you know what? She better stick with that, or she might as well just not mention color at all. Because I swear to God, if she says black next, or she says Hispanic, she's definitely going to get canceled. Because right now, she's already treading water.
Quick aside, guys. Sweet Baby Inc. detected now has 250,000 followers.
Why would someone want to follow that company? They're idiotic.
Wait.
They're not.
No.
Hold on.
This is the Steam group. The Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Curator has 250,000 followers. This is hey, these are the list of games that have Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement. Make an informed decision before you buy it, or let you know before you buy it, or however you want to phrase that.
So they're kind of like Game Rant. Game Rant does same stuff.
No,
except these are the ones that
before you buy it.
Yeah. Not at all. This one is more objective.
This is the guys that Sweet Baby Inc. tried to have canceled.
Yeah, Cabrutus. That's Cabrutus. Rachie says he enjoyed Metro 2023 because I'm playing something different. See? Russian. You see, that's how you innovate. Go to a different location. Come up with a different premise. Don't just change skin colors.
I love the Metro series.
Lazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Metro series was great.
Vince says I'm colorblind. I'm in minority. I'm literally a minority. Well, not in Mozambique. I'm not a minority, but okay, sure.
Vincent, be nice.
Yeah. Rachie, good thing I have Salvadorian and Canadian clan Chris blood. Jeez.
Christian blood. Yeah. Or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because what else
right.
would that be? Chris blood?
I don't know, dog.
Sure
I don't know. But let's go back to
either way.
To Kimberly.
That's the kind of person that we're always going to cater to. You're never going to innovate. You're never going to change things. You're just going to keep feeding the picky baby. And we cannot continue to try to create art under a system that is going to bar innovation for fear of a picky baby throwing a tantrum. Hey,
Okay.
See, by
Maybe
her,
we can invite
I
white
don't
dudes
know.
to
Go ahead, Mental. Go ahead.
No, well, it's funny because it's not just white guys that are upset about this stuff. Unless I'm crazy, I don't know. I just
I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm not a
her
white guy.
entire speech is about division, not about unifying, and that's I think what bothers
Exactly.
me. It's yeah. That's what bothers me, I think. We want a world that unites together, not get split up. And she's pushing the ladder with the way she speaks, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know what you think, Loke, but that's the way I.
It's definitely divisive. Definitely divisive. But let's go.
motivation for fear of a picky baby throwing a tantrum. Hey, maybe we can invite white dudes to play as other people and experience different things through someone else's eyes. And if they don't like it, we have to start thinking we're not losing.
So diversity is, bro. There's no white man that has ever lived through a nuclear holocaust.
Yep. And there's no you know what it'd be like me saying this, because if I want to go off her philosophy, then it's like saying a white guy can understand how a black person feels. No, I'll never know what it's like to be a black person. So that's why I laugh at this shit, because it's like you're being so she's dividing. She's more dividing than she is like,
Uniting.
uniting everyone. And it's it's funny, but it's
Forget
annoying at the
forget
same
uniting,
time.
guys. Focus. Listen. Just listen to what
See-
she said. Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. Right. Listen.
Yeah.
things through someone else's eyes. Invite white dudes to play as other people and experience different things through.
Okay. We need to invite them to play as other people and experience different things. Are you saying Fallout? White men have seen and experienced that. Call of Duty. Are you saying that white men have seen and experienced that? Because the necessity of a change is to assume that these fantasy worlds that we all agree are fantasy, they are real. That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
None of us has actually stepped on the Normandy. Also, you can just change
No.
your race in Skyrim. You can change your race in Mass Effect. You can do whatever.
Yeah.
But we're just assuming that. Oh, and the example is Nathan Drake. Okay, how many white men? Because she's assuming that diversity is in color, but video games, and this also exposes another thing. You either don't play video games or you play them for the wrong reason, because video games is an experience, right?
Yep, it's an
So if we're
experience.
following your logic, how many gamers have lived the swashbuckling life of Nathan Drake? How many? How many of you motherfuckers? I wanna meet this gamer. I wanna meet this gamer that has parachuted down from a plane onto the Sahara Desert. I want to see that shit.
Or
Tell me
jumped
when
out
you
of a
did it.
plane without a parachute and grabbed
Only
onto a
Navy
crate.
SEAls and like special
Yeah,
forces from
yeah.
other countries are the only people that would
Yeah.
have experienced that.
Bro, even freaking Navy SEALs haven't done that shit. Jumping off a plane with no parachute,
With no parachute?
gliding over to the freaking crate that has a parachute, fiddling with it so the parachute comes out in time, and then you land in the freaking Sahara Desert, and then you make it back to a city or settlement somewhere before you die from either thirst or cold, because the desert gets like freezing cold at night. How many people on the planet have lived that? Because that's where you see the issue. That's why I rewinded and said, guys, listen, actually pay attention. Diversity is not in the experience of gaming. Diversity is in the skin color of the person. This is deeply offensive, to me at least, as a gamer. But
I
anyway,
find it
Someone
divisive, not uniting. That's all I can say.
I agree.
I find it
Mental.
offensive.
Yeah.
I find it offensive to the medium. We're here to play games.
It's all of it's offensive what she's saying, because like I said, you know what, I'll be very shocked if she just sticks on the white preference only. I'll be surprised. We'll see. Let it play. We'll see where this goes. This is interesting.
Else's eyes. And if they don't like it, we have to start thinking we're not losing, they're losing, and we're losing because we're going to let them stand in the way of our progress.
No. The customer is not losing, because the $60 that he's not going to spend on you, bet your ass Square Enix is going to get that $60. All right? Someone's going to get that. The customer is not losing. The customer never loses. They only lose if they have to consume whatever you have that they don't like.
Exactly.
Me personally, I don't play online games. I'm not losing when Call of Duty comes out and I don't touch
You're
it.
playing what you like, which is there's nothing wrong with that.
There's zero losses for the customer. I hope anyone that listens to this pays attention. You as a customer, you cannot lose. You are not losing. This is gaslighting.
It's an our innovation. And I think that we're going to let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation. And
the customer does not stand in the way of your innovation. The customer makes your innovation valid. Because if you innovate, quote unquote, and the customer does not stand behind it, you become Suicide Squad. You become Rocksteady. Every day that goes by, you are afraid if your studio is going to shut down.
You become Deviation Games.
Oh my goodness. This is wow.
And I think that we need to stop thinking that our core marketing demographics have to define the exact demographics of our playable characters and of our cast. And instead, we start to have to assume that players do want new stories, and that if we bring joy to our broad audience, it's going to encompass our core audience as well.
I don't want to rant again. I'm just going to let this go.
Representation is this abstract idea. We're seeing it as this weird kind of thing that we can paint over what we're currently doing. But if we start having these conversations as facets of narrative, as facets of marketing, as gameplay, as art, I think that we're actually going to be able to move beyond it. Because when we sequester advocacy into this one series, what we risk is preaching to the choir. And while you guys already know this because you're here, what's old to us can be innovative to somebody else.
So
I'm fighting every urge not to rant. I'm fighting every single urge.
the goal, as you can see, is to reshape the industry to fit their new world image. They view white male players as the devil and want nothing more than to change the landscape to excommunicate and remove them from the industry, as well as when it comes to representation. And it's very bizarre that of all the ways she uses to explain what she hates, she uses the term picky babies. This entire group is creepy with their wording. Weird ghost, baby ghost, sweet baby, picky baby, even some of the other companies they started up, like there's Ghoul School as well, just very similar terminology being used here. But honestly, it's very fitting as well, because up until recently, for many of you, these people were exactly that. They were ghosts. You couldn't see them, you couldn't explain exactly what was wrong, but you could definitely feel as if there was a presence lingering around you. Something was wrong with the games you were playing. You couldn't necessarily put your finger on it, but you knew in your soul that there was something at work that you couldn't see that was contorting and transforming the very fabric of this medium that you love so much. But if these weirdos are ghosts, then fellas, we've all become Ghostbusters overnight. And it's up to us to find and locate these spectral weirdos.
Okay, that was funny. That was funny. All right? That was actually funny.
Wherever we can find them and rid this industry of this rot. But it seems that the rot has already taken hold. And
It's not a rot. And see, now I go back to disagreeing with this guy. It's not a rot. It's just people with different ideas. And we need to give these people the space to share their ideas and if the ideas are shit, they can get shut down. But I don't like what's been happening recently, where we kind of putting these companies like Sweet Baby and whatever in a position where they have to protect their tweets. They have to not tweet. The devs, the writers themselves also have to not tweet, because then like a whole bunch of people start sending like hate or whatever. I disagree with that line of behavior. I think we should criticize and be concise in our criticism, but not make it personal. Just be
that's
honest
fair.
with it. Like, your writing is terrible. Like, I threw up when I was watching Spider-Man 2. Didn't even get to the first boss. The game, it's terrible. Leave it at that. Don't come and start getting personal with the devs or the writers. I think that's where we have a problem.
Member Chris Kindred, who is that narrative designer who openly promotes that they're attached to weird ghosts and all of that, is the very same individual who originally attempted to get the user who made the Steam Curator tool banned off of Steam to begin with.
Irony. Where art thou? This was beautiful to me. I don't know if Chris Kindred is a man or a woman, black or white, I don't know. But this was a beautiful, like, unrolling of events. The person that tried to get someone banned ended up getting banned themselves. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. You guys agree with the way this thing unfolded?
I think he deserves it. I mean, this goes back to what I said before. They're not being inclusive, they're being divisive. Rather than just going, okay, this Steam Curator guy has his own opinions, that's fine. Maybe I could talk to him and find out why he thinks that and be constructive about it. He went on the attack and tried to have him banned and get his Steam account shut down and all these different things. That's not the right behavior when you're trying to change the world, so to speak, or change and express your views and have people being accepting of you and your views. By attacking people and criticizing them and labeling them and so on, you're going about it the wrong way. The term "kill them with kindness" exists for a reason, and you're not doing that. It's my way or the highway, and that usually doesn't work out very well. So if I was their PR person, I would be telling them to shut up and start thinking before they tweet and change their approach. And then people wouldn't probably care, to be honest. They wouldn't be upset. But you look at what his tweet was too. Well, I won't get into that, but whatever. I just think they're their own worst enemy at this point.
Yeah.
With the way they're dealing with
should rename this account. Should rename this account Chris Streisand Effect. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a progenitor of Sweet Baby and Weird Ghost attempted to strong-arm Steam into banning someone they didn't agree with because they exposed them for who they really are. Isn't that just fascinating? But there's something that's been bothering me ever since this all began, which is this one tweet by another person who works at Sweet Baby. I've covered them before. Their username on Twitter is Lego Butts. Anyway, they said this and people seem to have glossed over it. Lego Butts said this in regard to the Steam tool and how it collects information. Which, listen, I'm not sure who uses curator lists. My guess is it's people who would never ever buy the games any of us work on, except they do and don't list those particular games here. But there's just nothing preventing this, even though it's clearly not what curators are.
Okay, so Mental, go
Crazy.
ahead.
Well, that wasn't me. That was drawn TJ.
Go ahead, TJ.
I agree with Mental. They need to stop saying what they're saying, because all they're doing is making it worse. They're making it way worse than it has to be. with PR, you don't say stuff like that.
You're just inviting unnecessary violence on Twitter, and people can be violent.
They're creating discourse, right? Like that's what I keep saying.
Yep.
They're being divisive, not inclusive. They're doing the exact opposite of what they're saying their mission statement is.
Like creating discourse
It's
is
a
fine.
very bizarre, but it's a bizarre approach considering what they're trying to do.
what
don't
they
you
say
think?
they're trying to do.
Yeah, and that draws their actions speak louder than their words in this case, right? Their action is discourse and being argumentative and trying to cancel people and things like that. That's not inclusiveness.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too logical about it. I'm not
No.
being emotional about
No.
it. They seem to get up in their feelings right away. Like I say, if I was
Not
working
enough
PR
heart.
for them, the first thing I'd say is shut up. Stop talking. Do your
Yeah, that's the
job. Do it
first
really,
thing.
really well. And prove to people.
Make the next Sweet Baby game stellar in terms of story.
Exactly.
Focus on
Let
that.
your work do the talking.
Yeah.
What games do they
Except
create?
they do and don't list those particular.
Sorry?
They don't
What
actually
games do
create
they
games, they
create?
consult on games.
Oh, they consult.
Yes.
Damn,
Okay.
Mental. That was salty. That was salty of you. The way you said they don't actually create, they just consult. That was salty.
Well, it's true. They claim they're
Yeah.
innovating, but I haven't seen them do anything that was innovative. They consult with developers that are innovative. That to me is a different thing. But, that's okay. If they went out and started building games on their own and, writing great stories and building great games, I think that would be the biggest statement they could possibly make.
Okay.
Anyway.
Games here. So it's very likely that there are still many games out there right now being sold and played that have been involved with Sweet Baby, ghosts, and whatnot, and are not publicly displaying their names or involvement.
Yep.
So, like the ghosts they are, they're still corrupting things without players even knowing to begin with. Now, what could those games be? Sadly, I don't know, yet anyway, as of the making of this video. But it would be a shame if someone watching this was to run names like Eileen Haloka, Kim Belair, or Chris Kindred through the credits of recent releases to see if their names pop up anywhere. It's just a thought, of course, but who knows, maybe something could pop up. But it's become very clear that this make-believe agenda that people like Kindred, Lego, and others swear doesn't exist seems to be a very real thing that absolutely does. And of course, another tweet I've seen circulating is this one showing other companies that are also direct.
What do you guys think about sharing this type of information? Is this something that is net positive, or should people not be sharing these lists out?
So again, I'll say, like, people have the right to do what they, freedom of speech, right? If they want to share a list, they can share a list. But I think it's incumbent on the people that actually look at the list to do their own research too, and decide whether or not this list has any meaning. But without proper references and actually any proof of, I don't know, I can't see, that's pretty small on my screen, but the, who knows if that list is valid? I don't know. You don't want to put out the wrong message. Like you don't want to accuse groups of something that they're not involved in either, right? But again, that's why I say people need to do their research.
So I did do the research. It's unfortunate. I thought this video was going to take us like 30 minutes max, right?
And you keep pausing it,
but
buddy.
Hey, Cozy Beluga, welcome in, Cozy. Welcome in. Dude.
Hey there, Cozy.
Again, I didn't watch the video before the show. We are reacting to it live, so every time there's something we need to pause it for, I pause it. So here we are. Rachel says is subscribe to Fall Curators on Steam. They're a great help to find great games. Yeah, that's important. So what was I going to say? God damn it. Oh yeah, I was talking about the list. I did check those websites out. I have them saved here. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to go through them. We might have to extend the podcast to next week because I think 3 hours is a bit much. All right, I think 3 hours. That's like the limit. All right. So
Hey, Jez and
I'm not
Rand do
sure.
4 hours.
Well,
just kidding.
I still don't make a living off of this because then I could do 6
Yeah.
hours, no problem.
There you go.
But here we go.
Directly tied to Sweet Baby and Weird Ghost as well. It's going to take time to sift through all of these, but there's some very eyebrow-raising names on that list. Black Girl Gamers, yeah, those are the same people who were contracted by Square Enix when they worked on Forspoken. Gamer X is a big one
For broken.
too. I'll have to look into that one in a future video. And then there's Anita Sarkeesian when her name keeps popping up too. And look at that. Infinite Ammo, Weird Ghost, and GameSpace. All of these are controlled by Eileen Holoka and Faber as well. There's another name on that list as well, Cozy Comet Games.
Cozy. Do you have a consultancy firm? You didn't tell us.
Wait,
Cozy's being
Cozy
shady.
Beluga's in it?
Bro,
Nah, I'm just joking.
Cozy Comet Gaming. I don't know. Like we're gonna have to have a conversation
Oh my
offline.
God.
Vincent says y'all never finish this. You know how much SBI can F up in a week. Hopefully, Mental's advice will get through to the team at SBI, and they will keep their mouths and tweets silent for a week, just 1 week, and then next week we can do a deep dive on the specific website. Because wow, just wow.
Where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, they were on the infographic when Weird Ghost was celebrating.
See, Cozy Comet. Cozy, if you're still here, we need you to debunk this one. Because if you're a part of Cozy Comet Games, I'm just saying, we all want the bag. All right, tell them to send me an email. I want my BlackRock money. I want my cut, and I'll change my stance from like I'll start loving Sweet Baby as soon as the check clears. I'll cap for Sweet Baby. I promise.
All the startup companies they helped fund, and there it is, right there. Cozy Comet Games, as plain as day. So that's another company created by the Sweet Baby.
This kid does not like Cozy, but okay.
So how deep does this rabbit hole go? But this is very interesting, my friends. Very interesting indeed. At least it's good that I can say that we're not crazy at all, and actually we were right all along instead. I've had plenty of Reddit threads saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, that I'm this hate-mongering person, but it's very nice indeed to know that I've been right all along. And then
I hate to have to say it, but I checked those sites, a couple of them, and they say essentially what Sweet Baby says. There's little like lines and differences, right? But the core of what Sweet Baby says, they also say.
they can gaslight me, Yellow Flash, and many others all they want, but the truth is that we were right. We aren't crazy, and we aren't lying. And in actuality, it's these groups instead that are the ones who are lying, and they can try to smear our names, but the devil is bathing in the sunlight, my friends. And it's safe to say that they can't hide anymore, because while the devil does try to convince the world it doesn't exist, it looks like the public isn't believing their lies anymore. Finally, I just want to quickly go over the Warner Bros. Thing, but apparently after Suicide Squad blew up and died, Warner has decided it's going to double down on live service elements instead of rejecting them, and believes their future is not one-and-done games like Hogwarts Legacy, which, mind you, sold over 22 million copies and was the best-selling game of 2023. But never mind that. Warner thinks that is...
All right, gents, that's enough of the video. The video is made by Endymion. For anyone that wants to rewatch it or whatever, this is his channel. All right, we open. Okay, there we go. That's his channel. If you're interested, go ahead and watch his stuff. Oh my goodness, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm just saying, just wow.
A lot to unpack, I think, is what it
Yep.
comes down to.
And that last part with Warner Brothers, that's a topic I've been trying to put into the lowdown with Ham and bullshitting for, I think, 2 weeks now. But ever since this thing exploded, there's just been no space to talk about anything else. I think it's ridiculous. How can you look at Suicide Squad and be like, okay, that's our future, and then look at Hogwarts Legacy and say,
Yeah, that
no,
ain't gonna
no,
do.
thank you.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Ah,
Very bizarre.
Let's see.
Hogwarts was a good game. I quite enjoyed it.
I think it was a very good game.
Yeah, and I'm not
Nice
a
detail.
Harry Potter fan in by any stretch of the imagination. I watched the first movie. That's it. But the game was. I had a lot of fun playing the game. It was good.
Oh,
Why would you want to make another one of
great.
those?
Why are you gonna print money? And they could use the
Best-selling
same
game of the
engine.
year, but
Dude,
let's
they
not
could make
repeat
Hogwarts.
that.
Exactly. They could make Hogwarts Legacy 2 with the same engine
Yep.
and just add to the story, and it would still sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah.
Rachel says, pause each 2 minutes and comment in what happened those 2 minutes. It's not my fault. All right. I was trying to quickly get through that video, but there was so much shenanigans going on. Fuck. Anyways, final thoughts, guys, on the Sweet Baby and what we saw there.
Well, like I say, I think my personal opinion is they have every right to exist and to be a business and to consult with game companies and do everything they can possibly do to get their message across, as long as it doesn't involve fear tactics like what was described in the other video by Kim, where you take the marketing guys in and basically threaten them with community backlash if they don't listen to you. I thought that was a bit scummy, but other than that, I think they have every right to try and do what they feel is right and get their message out. As long as it's not to the detriment of gaming in general and the stories are well done, more power to them. I think, like I say, if I was their PR person, it's time to just tell them to stop talking and start doing and let their work speak for them for a while. And this will all just go away on its own and everything will be fine in the world and it'll all be great. But if they're going to continue to go out and say the types of things they're saying, which I think, again, are quite divisive, they're going to just be met with resistance and anger from people. And I think that's what we're seeing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
John TJ,
It,
what's your final
yeah,
thoughts on this?
I agree with Mental on it. Like, the thing is, they have freedom of speech. They get to say what they want to say as a company, but they should limit. They should choose their words carefully. And if you don't want the bad press or you don't want people looking at you with the side eye, don't be coming out and calling everybody a crybaby or a picky baby or, oh, only white males are the ones complaining or bitching about it. It's like, everybody in gaming bitches eventually, whether it's something they don't like about the game or something developers say or it's something that they remove from the game. At the end of the day, someone always complains about something. Prove me wrong. There's not a single gamer that doesn't have a single little tiny problem of some game. There's always something. It's either bugs or it comes down to features or whatever. So if I was her, I would have never even spoke about any of that, and I would have just said, "Look, we want to address, the Steam group that is calling us out, blah blah blah," and you acknowledge it, but you don't say what she said, because
You don't sick people onto them.
yeah,
No.
it's like
No.
it's like, sure, I've called out podcasters, but I don't say go over to their podcast and unsubscribe.
Yes.
Or go call them
yes.
names or something. And that's
There
my
we go.
opinion. I have freedom of speech. That's what I believe. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to
Or-
support them, but just don't blindly follow them. That's all I recommend.
See, the funny thing is
Yeah.
that Steam Curator Group isn't doing anything that they aren't doing themselves.
Yeah,
They
I know.
advertise the games on
They're
their
just warning
website
the
that
fan
they're
base.
involved in.
Yeah.
You know, and they could have taken an entirely different approach
Oh, they could have been.
to the entire
they
to the
could have
whole
been
thing
neutral
and
about
come out looking just beautiful and reasonable.
Oh, I agree. They could have
It's
been.
so bizarre to me.
They could have been diplomatic about it. And they could have said, "Look, we have disagreements with the Steam group, and we have our ways of doing stuff, and they have their ways of doing stuff." That's the easy and neutral way to handle that situation.
Or
But
even, hey,
yeah,
how about this? Say, we really appreciate the criticism, and we're going to try and be better, and we're going to make ourselves better, and learn from this and move forward. Like, I don't know, it's a
Yeah, because you're
bizarre
not trying
response.
to you shouldn't be trying to antagonize. That's where you
Exactly.
have a problem. When you're trying
That's
to
that's where my
antagonize.
problem with them is everything they do seems to be divisive, not inclusive.
yeah, it doesn't seem like a united front. It doesn't sound like something like, hey, we should all work together. No, they're like literally dividing people the way that they're talking, and it's putting people down. It's belittling them, which is not right in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, they make it sound too like having a preference in the types of games
Is
you
bad.
play is bad. And I mean, we all have preferences in life. Without
Love probably has
preferences,
different preferences than me and you, and I've got different
Sure.
than you. At the end of the day,
Sure.
that's what makes us unique as players and as
Well,
gamers, as fans,
and
whether
that's what
what
makes
platform you
different.
play on.
Exactly, and that's what makes some platforms thrive more than others. That's what makes some genres
Exactly.
more popular than others. It's because people have
Mm-hmm.
preferences.
And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
like Xbox has lots of people that like shooters, for example. That's
Exactly.
fine.
I
There was
like
a reason
shooters,
it
but I
was
like
called
playing
Shooter
other things
Box.
too, single player games, and I
Yes,
like MMOs.
yes.
So yeah,
PlayStation
Yeah, like we
is
should.
your story console, which is also fine.
Mhm.
No problem. Japanese
Yeah.
RPGs go to PlayStation. You know.
Yeah, and it's a very bizarre approach. I've said that a million times, but I do find their approach very, very strange when you're trying to communicate a message in a reasonable way. They're just not being
Yeah.
reasonable, I don't think. But anyway, I've said
Yeah.
enough, I
So
think. I'll shut up.
before we do our outros, I wanted to do a little exercise. I thought we were gonna get through the article, right? But we didn't. We through the articles, but we didn't. But anyway, I'm still gonna do this because I think it's important. Ladies and gentlemen, IGN is not a part of the Sweet Baby Defense Force. There are 0 articles from IGN. No, I'm being objective. All right, Sir X-Man, when you make time to watch or listen to this, there are 0 articles right now from IGN protecting or being disingenuous about this whole situation. So
That's interesting.
I feel like that's an important thing to bring up. All right. Yobi says the same devs, Loke, and the other game is Hogwarts Quidditch. They announced a while back. Oh, Quidditch! Yeah, I heard they're working on that. But is that like DLC or is it a game on its own? I don't remember. Well, while I Google that, John TJ, please do your outro. Tell people where they can find you, etc., etc.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was really cool being on this podcast. This is my first time being on your podcast, so
Yeah,
it's really
first of many.
unique. Yep. And if you want to find me on Twitter/X, you can find me at DrawnTJ450. If you want to find me on Xbox, just DrawnTJ. But yeah, if you want to play games, hit me up. We can play games. I play a little bit of everything, so I'm not very picky. So, yep. And everybody
Alright.
hit the like button and subscribe, please. For Loke and for Ham Solo, please.
Cheers. Okay. So the standalone Quidditch game from Harry Potter with online multiplayer mode is announced by Warner Bros. The first playtest will be April 21st. Okay. Interesting. Looking forward to that. Yobi. Ooh. Okay. Let's go. So what I was reading was not a DM from Yobi. It was an article from IGN. I am going to share the screen because I don't want to get my brother, who is under NDA, in trouble. This is official news. Don't nobody give him grief. All right. As you can see, standalone Quidditch game, blah, blah, blah. Sign up for the playtest on April 21st, IGN. Okay. Yobi, I'm looking forward to that DM. Just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah. And obviously I won't be sharing with you guys, just being honest. Mental, please do your outro. Tell people where they can find you, what you're up to, etc.
At Mental9R on Twitter /X, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, and pretty much everywhere other than YouTube, where I'm at Caffeine Entertainment, all one word. I've got a few videos on there. Feel free to check them out. I appreciate any likes or subscribers that I might get out of that. But yeah, thanks for having me again, Loke. It was an interesting show today.
If you didn't like Starfield, you should go to Mental's channel. He's got an interesting video on it. You're going to enjoy it.
I liked Starfield. I
and-
just wish it had more features, but otherwise, I like it.
I love Starfield. It's just that those loading screens.
Well, that, and they kind of lied. They said mod support was going to be at the end of 2023. They never did do it. They still haven't even announced it. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. The mod support, isn't it because the modders gave up on?
Because
gave up
they
on-
said
on
there
the
would
game.
it would be fully compatible with mod support from day one or later on, they said. And Bethesda is known for modding because, like a Fallout, perfect example. They have their own modding, like actual thing on the Xbox. So you would think with Starfield they would do it, especially, but they haven't done it. So yeah, it is what it is.
So thank you to everyone. Yobi, appreciate you, man. Thank you to everyone for coming through. Really appreciate
Hit
you
the
guys.
like button.
100. We almost had 180 people here at some point. Thank you guys so much for
Not bad for a
coming
Sunday.
through. Not bad at all. Really appreciate you guys. Super chats as well. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a show, the crossover with Ham Solo and K Mega. Tuesday is the lowdown with me and Ham Solo. We'll also be doing the simulcast via Twitter. Wednesday, Ham does a show with Matt Likes Games on his channel, right? And the channel is called Matt Likes Games, the two-player podcast. Thursday, Ham Solo interviews a lot of different people and personalities inside and around gaming. And then on Fridays, it's bull sitting with me, Ham, Cozy, Matt, and special guests. I think I'm going to include Mental in all of my readouts because he keeps showing up, and I'm tired of changing. I'm tired of changing the locks on the podcast. He keeps finding a way in. So
Keep infiltrating.
Yeah, you know what? Friday it's me, Ham, Cozy, Matt Likes Games, and Mental, and a special guest. All right, there. We're doing that
Mental's awesome.
every
That's
single
why.
week.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you to everyone for coming through, and make sure to like and subscribe to TSWS Gaming. We will try to actually finish the whole conspiracy story around Sweet Baby next week, Sunday.